Which one's mine? Is it this one?
One.
Could you look on there? Could you look and see if this is working, please?
What do you want me to do?
Go check our pages. They can hear me. Awesome. I have no idea what's going on, people. We're trying to do multiple things at the same time. And it keeps ringing at us. We're all well. Hello, hello.
Okay.
So let's see if we can do the different scene. Can you see us now? Anyone? Anyone at all? Well, there's chat box. There's all kinds of things all over the place. The multi-stream. See what's going on. This is crazy, people. So we're trying something new today. Sorry, I was a little crazy there because I have no clue how this is supposed to work because this is the first time we have been on here.
It doesn't seem to be live on Facebook, at least not on that Walter's World.
No, go to the Walter's World normal.
Walter regular.
Hey everybody, hope you're doing well.
We're doing great.
So people, tell us if you would please, if you are seeing us. Oh, I see you guys. Good. Somebody's there. Oh, there's people on Facebook as well. Good. Gotta love how these things are going by. It is our first time using Streamlabs. And so trying to figure out how all this works obviously is a little frustrating.
Do I need to be doing something here?
Yeah, just see if it's actually
there it is. Hang on, watch an app.
It's watch an app. Oh, you have to have the app to watch it.
Well, that's okay.
Is
have
it
the
it's
app.
the gaming app?
No, it's just...
Oh, people, it's so good to be back and not have a clue what we're doing. So we're trying to do something new. So Jocelyn's been rocking it on the Facebook for Walter's World this week. And so we thought we would try to do some
oh, good Lord.
Some stuff here.
Oh, no, it's on. It's right there.
Oh, good. It's working. Lovely. I'm glad that I could be upset and be like, what are you doing? Help me out here. When she's playing her video games on her phone, as always. Fun fact. Every time we start a live feed, Jocelyn is playing one of her games on her phone.
So, I also
Nothing
have
wrong
one
with it.
hair sticking straight out like I got horns.
I was surprised you didn't say shut up, Mark.
Shut up, Mark.
Oh my goodness, Jess Marquez is on here.
Hey, Jess.
Facebook. Hey, Jess, good to see you.
I'm so glad to see you, dear. Oh.
So, Jess, usually we're doing this on YouTube, and it makes more sense. I have no idea how it's showing up on Facebook now and YouTube and stuff like that because we've been trying this.
I love that she says hi, Mom and Dad.
Oh, because she's an awesome daughter, and we love her very much. So, as you can tell, different setups, different things going on. I have no idea why over here this isn't filling up all the way, so we'll see how it all works. So I hope you guys all are doing well.
Tikanis, to Tommy. Okay, so tell me, Mark needs to explain this to stupid me.
You're not stupid.
Right over there is the Facebook. Oh, I see. So they've got an F if they're doing this by Facebook, and then
the YouTube thing
button is for the. Okay, so we're getting everybody's stuff.
We're getting everybody's stuff now. I don't know if
Praise
you
God,
all are
it's in
seeing
one.
everything here because we can't read that at all.
Oh.
So we're reading our own little thing that's over here that you can't see.
Hi, Henry.
so we'll try to go this way.
Mr. Blonde's here.
Oh, the whole family's watching the dinner table.
Oh,
I
way.
hope your other mom and other dad are doing well, and your dad's got his dancing down and making some stuff because I know they're as nice.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm drinking whiskey, and Jocelyn has.
So I have on our patrons page on Facebook, patrons and members have their own page, and Mark Finley. What you all know him if you have been on one of our live chats at all. Mark posted something about cheerwine and bourbon or whiskey. So I tried to do it. You freeze cheerwine, although I didn't have cheerwine. So I froze some Coke and I froze some ginger ale, and I'm mixing that. So my cup is so frosty it can barely pick it up.
Mine is only lightly
Maybe
frosty.
a metal cup wasn't the smartest thing to do with this, but it's really good little adult Slurpee. I'm quite happy with it.
So the on-screen chat is too small to read. Dang it. That's what I love about this stuff. It doesn't actually help. All the instructions they have on here are completely not helpful.
Fierce Mice, hi, says that there's better volume on the YouTube one than on the Facebook one. I can't believe y'all are watching separate ones. So.
That's too big.
Mr. Blonde, no, we're not doing Saturday chats. We're just doing the Wednesdays now because with Mark finishing his one class, the end of our kids' schooling happening, the limbo schooling happening, and then Mark's also starting a new class very soon. He was supposed to teach in Vienna, and that class has obviously been moved to online. So he's been working on, a lot all at one time, so we're pretty overwhelmed. So Saturday is not happening right now. Somebody says we got married.
We did.
I can only see part. No, we got married, and then the number 4. I can't see all of it because you've got that chat box. Mark's trying to fix the chat box.
I'm trying to fix
make it bigger for you.
I'm trying to make it so people can read.
Maybe that'll help. We got
hopefully
married
things
4
are
years
popping
ago
up.
and have been to Europe 5 times now. That's awesome. Love
Very
that,
cool.
Michelle. Very cool.
So for those of you that are popping in on things, so usually we'll get stuck answering some questions. These questions here will go by. And our thing will go by if we can't make it go backwards. So it's going to be a random answer. So if your question goes by, we don't get a chance to answer it. Don't be upset if you have to.
Hi, Jeff.
Yes, Jeff Neuschwander. It is good to help you. It is help to have you on here. Nice to see you. And that's the thing is, it was nice to get on here and try the Facebook one. I've been trying to do this for a couple weeks, and so I was just like, you know what? We're putting more questions out there. We're putting more stuff out there. We're getting a lot more interaction on Facebook. So we thought, hey, let's try to get this to work. So. I did. I had to start a gaming channel to do this. We're playing, I think it's a travel VR right now. Who knows? But
virtual reality travel?
Yeah. So
that's what this is
I figured
for
that was
all
the
of us, isn't it?
Best one to do.
What's going on with my hair? Like sticking out all over the place. Look, see?
Hi, Kathy Walters. Good to see you.
Hi, Mom-in-law. All right. So, yes, we saw that the California universities are talking about they're going to have to do online in the fall. It's interesting.
Which I think it's a little early to make those decisions.
Yeah, right.
But I could see how some schools will be, partially online, like a hybrid kind of thing, especially for bigger classes. I could see that. For those asking, I teach marketing. Someone asked that one there. So the thing is, the funny part is with our multi-stream, how this comes through. Our friends that do super chats and stuff like that on YouTube, it doesn't show me this. So I just want to say thank you if you've sent a super chat. I'm going to see if we can figure these things out. Where's my phone? The kids took my phone. Did the kids take my phone? Someone took something. Anyway. Hey, Lorelai. Good to see you on there. Ben Butler. What's that behind us? Oh, my goodness. It's a fireplace. Yeah, your hair looks great, by the way.
Thanks. Boston travel video. I think we have some.
We do. We have
videos.
a don'ts of Boston, some tips on Boston. I think I have an eat of Boston video. They're a couple years old, so that's probably why you don't see them as much. So just put
you have to look for
put in Walters World Boston. Will pop up for sure. Oh my, Brigadier.
Briggs making some noise. All right, musings at midlife. That was directed at Jocelyn. I don't know what you were directing at me, not Mark. But
your hair is lovely.
Oh well,
wow.
That's it.
Burn.
Lauren's birthday is on Saturday.
Oh, happy birthday, Lauren!
Happy birthday inside Lauren's brain. Gosh, and it's making noise when things come up. It's going bling bling, and it's kind of disconcerting, throwing off my ADD here. Why not? Someone was talking whether I was Greek or Puerto Rican. I'm half Greek. My dad's side is Greek. My mother's side is Swiss. Mark is on beast mode. Mark is something, I tell you. So Indiana will probably do half and half online, half in person. I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of that happening. Ooh, yeah, somebody's at pilot school. I bet that's a mess. I can't even imagine what that's going to be like, right?
Yeah, you can't be hands-on with your stuff like nursing school and stuff like that. I mean,
some of those really you need to be hands-on. Mark, what's your favorite beer that you found traveling?
So there's a few. Schifferhofer is a beer from Germany I really, really enjoy. It's a Weizen beer.
Can you spell that?
SCH. Oh, with two dots. Shivahufa. That's really good. You can find it sometimes at like especially beer places and liquor stores in the U.S. Another one is Kutzlitze, which is a Schwarzbier, a black beer. But my favorite German beer is the Rauchbier, smoked beer, which actually tastes like you're drinking like bacon and how would you say it? Bacon and pork rinds. Which it's funny because the first one you have, you get the half-liter beer. The first half, like this is horrible, but then the second half, you're like, oh my god, it changed my life. I love this. So
hang on, this keeps doing crazy. So I know, but there it is. Fierce Mice, $2 from Fierce Mice. No time like the present to test the super chat. Thank you for the $2 and thank you for testing it out. It doesn't show up like it should or like it used to.
Yeah, and I think Def Leppard Rock Rules did one too.
Oh well,
if that's what it looks like.
Thank you.
So I will go through and look for those.
It's hard to see it. Lorelai, my grandfather immigrated from Greece a little past that, about 20 years after that.
Oh, Pat Gillis. I remember Pat met us in Turks and Caicos in April of last year on a snorkeling cruise. That's right. That was a fun cruise, too.
Yes, very cool.
We had a few Turks Head beers on that one.
I'm glad you showed up here tonight. That's awesome. We had a few. Well, you had a few. I had a sip.
Yes, I had a few.
That's not my gig, but interesting sodas.
Okay, so... No, Def Leppard Rock Rules, because Def Leppard Rock Rules. Are you guys going to start traveling again when things open up, or will you wait a little longer? Oh, when it opens up, we're going to go. It's just a question of where we can go, because you can go some places,
here, honey.
but getting let in someplace, that's going to be the big issue when you have that. So
we tried to explain that to Caleb.
What's up, Dan?
Tonight, he is like, well, we can leave. They can't, keep us in the country. I'm like, yeah, but we can't go into another country. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
All right. My girlfriend and I are going to Germany this fall. She's practicing Muslim. Should I be concerned about xenophobia in some rural areas?
Not really. Not in Germany. Not in Germany.
Probably be okay.
If you're going farther east, then I would be a little bit worried, but not super much. I mean, there's a lot of Muslims in Germany and Europe now, so it's much more understood. It's not like what's going on, so should be fine. And the thing is the only religion a lot of places care about is money. So, as long as you're spending money, no one's going to care.
Deborah Work. Hi, Walters, from the other Walters.
Hello.
Nice to see you. We need a Jocelyn on the other side. What does that mean? I'm only in one side. So, I think Lauren had asked interesting sodas. So, Iron Brew in Scotland. It's orange, but doesn't taste like orange. All the Fantas everywhere else. What was that?
Yes, there's the tropical Fanta, the red one in El Salvador, which is amazing. Ting in Jamaica. And there's a Sandra Baxter on here, who's a wonderful woman. One of Jocelyn's best buddies ever.
One of my very best friends on the planet. And she wants to go to Granada, Spain. She says, tell me how much I'll like it. You're going to love it.
You will. You tell her.
Well, we went do you remember when Mark and I were getting married and you weren't all excited about it? It was
when we got engaged.
I know. Well, so on our engagement trip, if you'll remember, we went to Italy, but we met up with his mom and dad in Granada and some friends of theirs, and we had a ball, the six of us. Granada's lovely. The Alhambra is incredible. Architecturally, historically, I mean, you can spend days in the Alhambra and just soak it all up. But it's a great town to me. Tell me if you agree with this. I think it's a great place to kind of get lost and discover new places.
Yeah, because Sevilla is so easy to get to from Madrid. You have a lot of tourists that go there, and a lot of people go there to learn Spanish and stuff like that. And Granada's a little bit it doesn't have. It's not. I mean, it's still easy to get to, but it's not as easy as Sevilla. So you can actually get more of a Spanish experience in Granada than in Sevilla, because it's more like you go from Madrid down to the Costa del Sol, whereas Granada, it's more like you're going there on purpose. So it's definitely a much better
and kind Sam said they were thinking about staying for a couple weeks maybe or months. I'm sorry. So a good amount of time. So you can go to Sevilla, Cadiz. I love Cadiz. That's
if you're going to stay a few months and stay in a town, you want to learn Spanish, get to know the culture, I think Granada's a better choice.
No, that's where she's gonna stay.
That's awesome. Yeah,
you've got a lot of little short day trips, to Sevilla and Cadiz, and what's the other one with an S? Shoot, I don't know.
Saragossa?
I don't know, but Saragossa, maybe that was it. But that's a Z, isn't it?
Anyway. Thank you, George Martin. That's very nice of you. What advice can you give senior solo travelers? So, Actually, I have a few live feeds I've actually done with my mom, the Kathy Walters that pops up over here. We've actually done quite a few videos together on senior travel and multi-generational travel. One thing that's cool is this solo senior travels. It depends where you're going to go. A lot of other countries, seniors are treated a heck of a lot better than they are in the U.S. Now, it's not as easy to get around. Like, it won't be as, I don't know if you have limited mobility or things like that, so it won't be as easy that way. But it will give you, like, you will be treated with respect. You will get free passes to the front of the line to a lot of things and stuff like that. So that's very nice. I think going by yourself, what you might look into, sometimes cruises and tours are a bit better because then you're not by yourself, so you can meet people along the way. And and a lot of times the cruises, especially the river cruises, tend to be an older demographic, so that's the way to go. I know I've gone on some cruises where it's me and a bunch of 70, 80-year-old French people, and we actually had a really good time. So it could be some fun there. It
keeps moving.
What are we losing post-COVID-19? Middle seats, airline perks, lounges.
All of the above. You may be losing automatic upgrades is one of the things. They're talking about much longer check-ins, partially because we're going to just have to have longer lines, a lot of space between people, families can be together, but like a lot of space between. You're going to have to check your own bag. You're going to have to do self-check-ins. There's going to be a lot of that. And if you do need help, if you have to go to a counter, for us who are seasoned travelers, a lot of that's not going to be very difficult. But if you're new to it and you need help, you need to give yourself even more time to get through all of that. They're talking about possibly, now not all of this is defined yet, but they're talking about possibly no carry-on baggage, like no bags in the cabin. I don't know if that means no purses. I think they'd have to say purses and diaper bags. Yeah, and
if you have medicine, you're not going to check the meds.
But you're not going to be able to have like a carry-on bag and bring it in. So.
Yeah, and the thing is these are things now. I mean, I'll be honest. What you'll have the first phase of travel again, the second phase of travel again, when it's all open again. It's just like anything. It's kind of like some stuff will stay and some stuff will go away, and it'll really come down to how much travelers are okay with it.
We love Granada, Nicaragua. That's a great Granada to go to also.
That is a great Granada to go to. Another thing I would say, someone was asking about the signature food of Chicago. Chicago's deep dish pizza, Italian beef at Portillo's.
Garrett's
popcorn. Actually, we have a 5 Eats of Chicago video, and you'll want to check out some of those things there and have a good fun with that. Joe, things to do in Toronto. The Royal Ontario Museum is one of the best museums, like for dinosaurs and stuff like that. Wonderful collection. Definitely worth checking out.
Will it be safe to plan a trip for 2021, summer 2021? Dang it, this thing.
Get over it.
But I can't even finish reading it. Shut up, Mark. Drink. We love you, so authentic, even when we met you at the airport. See, even as I'm trying to hold it, the damn thing's scrolling. How am I supposed to do this?
Don't hate me. Don't hate me. It's just...
I'm just mad.
So we're using Streamlabs for the first time, and we're having a fun time with it.
I'm going to drink a lot tonight.
Yes.
How many people are going to avoid the airlines if they implement the restrictions that they're talking about? I will only fly to see my kids and will only do road trips from now on. I'm not me. I'm still getting on a plane because I can't take a road trip to Europe and see like a lot of our friends.
But I think you will see a lot of people will choose not to travel. And that's one of the things is some of these restrictions aren't necessarily because they want to do the restrictions. Instead of putting a blanket ban on a country or a ban on travelers, we make things like, we're going to make it uncomfortable for you to come. We're going to make it too expensive for you to come. We're going to say, look, you got to quarantine for 14 days when you get in here, no matter what. All of a sudden, people decide, you know what, I'm not going to travel. So then they don't look mean or stuff like that. It's just, hey, I'm just you can say as long as you want, just 14-day quarantine, and so you will have things like that.
So I also think that these aren't going to be permanent things. I have this feeling that at some point those things will go away.
Yeah.
If we get a vaccine or
treatment or herd
some kind of really good treatment and things like that, then I think these things will start to go away. Somebody asked about travel, if it's cheap to travel the Italian Alps. The Italian Alps are cheaper than the Swiss Alps, if that helps. So I'm not going to say it's super cheap, but it's less expensive. Terry, I was planning on going to Costa Rica, but reading their new guidelines, it sounds rough. I haven't read specifically Costa Rica's this week. I read every country in the world last week, and it all went out the window and changed this week. We're trying to get together, like, what is travel going to look like? And literally every single day it's something new from not just like one or two countries, but like, 40, 50, 60. It's crazy. I want to stop and say hello to Derek and Liz from Means to Travel, and I saw the Gallivant and Gals zipped on by. Hello. And Darian with Germany Travel Personal Guide. Darian is trying to do a live feed after this, his first attempt, so he says to laugh along with him. So Katie asks,
this is insane.
will prices jump up in 2021?
Yes,
probably.
Prices will jump up. You will see discounts at first to get people to go start traveling again. But if we have to have it where, like, for example, Delta's announced that they'll only have 50% capacity in first class and 60% capacity in economy, they got to make up the money somehow. So that means higher prices and stuff like that. So that's where you have to think about it. And so I would say flying next summer will be significantly more expensive if they haven't gone back to the way things were, which it could be.
Or closer to the way things were.
So Renee, I have turned down the audio of the desktop audio and all the announcements things. For those of you that are wondering, this is my first time using
Somebody says
all the announcement, all these bells and whistles things. So I'm trying to figure out how to turn it off. So I apologize.
This is a brilliant question that we've never gotten before, and I really like it. So they said, I think it was anonymous, said, I'm sorry, but why did Mark decide to call this channel Walter's World? It's because our last name is Walters. So that's why. But you're so great because you actually got that his name was Mark and not Walter.
Because most people just write about me.
So I love that you got that end of it. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So the Vienna airport is testing right away, but was it free? Because last time I heard it was 200 euros. You can do the test and find out right away if you can go in.
Gallivant and Girls said that we should gals. Sorry. Said that we should try some other kind of stream, and we need to check that out. Rather than whatever this god-awful thing is that we're doing. I'm going to be so drunk by the end of tonight. Not even joking. This is killing me.
So Nick wonders if the cheap flights are gone forever after this. I think you'll have cheap flights for probably the next 3 months till people feel comfortable to start booking a lot. And until those restrictions go away, the prices will be a lot higher. And you're going to see consolidation. You're going to see airlines go under, and when there's less competition, you're going to have higher prices. So there is that.
Hola, Jose Pereira. It's nice to see you on here.
Hey, Jose.
Oh my goodness. When I first heard this channel about almost a decade ago, I thought for the longest time Mark's name was actually Walter until I took a closer look.
See, Nick, we all are learning something every day.
Grand Canyon opens on Friday, but only entrance from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then the gates close.
So this is what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot more limited entrances, limited stuff like this. We actually started putting together our don'ts because we were trying to put together, like, as Jocelyn pointed out, all these things are changing so fast that it's like you put it together a video one day, it's worthless. Like we made a video about the travel ban, the first travel ban, like on March 12th or whatever. And within 3 days, it was not worth it anymore. So we had to change things again and again. So that's why I'm like, look, we're going to put together a don'ts of travel post-COVID to give you a rough idea of what's going to happen. So that's the video we're working on for Saturday. So.
We're the Hootie and the Blowfish of YouTube.
That's
I'll
right.
Take it.
I'll take it. Oh, man.
That was really awful.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up, Jocelyn.
Shut up, Mark.
Yes, so Lorelei is visit Hawaii, guys. Book it while reasonable. Yes, we will.
Although I was reading some stuff about Hawaii today, actually, about them not letting people in. A friend of mine, he goes there like 3 times a year, and he had posted something, and it was like they're gonna like seriously limit things, if at all, open to the rest of us. So they're like really buckled down, but they only have they've had like 800 cases across all the islands, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wow, level 2. Bia said New Zealand's dropped down to level 2. That's
awesome.
And some people are asking, and this is the thing, is Hawaii might have restrictions. For example, the governor of Maine said, people, if they come to Maine, have to self-quarantine for 2 weeks. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Northern Sailor, I have Gentleman Jack right now, is what I'm having.
Me too, with
Oh, next time in Ghana, you have to try Akaben's Rwandan pork barbecue. Oh, yeah. We love...
Mm.
For those of you wondering where to go in Africa, Rwanda is our #1 destination there. It is fantastic.
Love the people. It is gorgeous country, like the greenest hills and mountains and just, I mean, everything. And the wildlife is incredible. But the people outshine the wildlife and the dramatic countryside just tenfold. I love Rwanda. I mean, the kids ask to go back all the time. It's just such an amazing thing.
I like Dave. Dave Benzane. I know your name was Walter, but you're famous like a footballer, so got called by your surname. Thanks, I appreciate that. That's awesome.
You're funny.
Yeah, Hawaii is kind of a big thing here.
Yeah, MGH. Oh, there he's talking to Nick. Okay,
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think Kanisha makes a good point. Imagine getting all the way to a foreign country just to find out you're asymptomatic carrier from an airport test. Do they send you back, place you under government control quarantine?
That's what it's looking like right now. When we flew from Rwanda to Tanzania, we had to go through Kenya. And as we came in, you walk through this thing and it's got the infrared thing and it tests everyone's body heat.
It's like Predator.
It's kind of creepy. And if you are too high, according to that, they pull you over and do the thermometer on your head or your ear or something. I don't remember which it was. But Liam is hot all the time. This kid is like boiling. He's at least a degree or two above the normal on a regular basis. So they pulled him over and they took his thing and he was a couple degrees high and they asked me a bunch of questions if he had had this, and this. And he didn't. I said, he's normally like this, and they let us go through. So I imagine, and I have already read about several, like Italy has one where a person stands with this helmet and they can see anyone, like they can take the basic temperature of anyone within 7 meters or something. It was really interesting. And so they will be, it really is. And they'll be monitoring people that way coming into the country, and they too will have stuff that Dubai already has mandatory like blood tests and stuff to go in or out. So, yeah.
Gallivantigads, this is StreamYard. No, Streamlabs. Sorry, Streamlabs OBS. That's where I have some issues. So, Stephanie Marie on Facebook. When will you and your family feel comfortable to travel again? I'm feeling comfortable to travel again now. To go place. Well, there's wanting to go, but there's also feeling comfortable because what our plans are is we realize we're not going to be going international anytime soon because you won't be able to get in. So for our plans are road trips, and I don't have a problem doing that because we can social distance, we can wear the masks and stuff like that, and go see places. And so for us, we're not going to be going because we can't. Like a lot of things you have to realize is a lot of people want to go travel to these places. They have the vacations, but the countries might not let you in. Like France and Germany, they're going to open their border. But that doesn't mean non-Europe EU citizens can come into Europe. So you have issues there. And the thing is, things are changing every day. That's what's so tough about this. Is you don't know what's going to be the new rule.
I do want to talk about that when you are doing different travel inside the United States or any country. There are a lot of new rules for cleaning regimens and things that are being implemented by all the major hotel groups. Airbnb has a recommended cleaning list, but I promise you, wherever I go, if I have wipes left, please, Jesus, let me have wipes left. Or I'm just going to take a bottle of Lysol with me. But there's going to be a lot of new cleaning stuff expected, and a lot of it's brand standard for like IHG and Hilton and Marriott. They're all
which makes you wonder, why weren't they cleaning this?
They were already clean. I mean, it's just some of them are doing like the electrostatic sprays and like everything is getting it, or UV lights. Some places were talking about putting, and I think this might have been somebody maybe in Europe, and they were talking about putting a UV light in and closing a room for 24 hours with a UV light. So there you go.
Huh.
Yeah. Hang on, what was that about Thessaloniki?
No, you just
somebody was friend.
So Jasleen, which Caribbean islands have you been to? You've been to what? Bahamas?
The Bahamas,
Turks and Caicos,
Puerto Rico,
Jamaica,
Turks and Caicos, Jamaica, Aruba.
Yeah, Aruba. I forgot about Aruba. for various reasons.
We were supposed to go
the
to
Cayman Islands. We're scheduled because that was our first trip that got canceled because of COVID.
I want to go to Dominica. I have a friend who's from Dominica, and I would like to go down there and see that at some point. Yeah, there's a lot, isn't there?
Yeah. Yes, hey, Roster, here, you ready to travel now? Yeah, we've been ready to travel for a while. Terry Finley, I'm on my Chromebook. It's not very forgiving either. I think it makes up things it wants me to say.
It's a little creepy.
All I know is, my Samsung updated, and not only did I lose all of the words that were saved in there, because I can't tell you how many times it's typed. I'm like, that's not what I wanted to say. And it won't get my name right, and so then it types my name wrong again, and it gets a little frustrating. So there is that. Let's see.
Kathy, your mom is talking about Africa requiring a lot of immunizations. So.
Yes, and so those of you that don't know, there's this yellow thing. We have it, and so you get your usual immunizations, and you put them in there. There's places around that will give the immunizations you need. So if you need the yellow fever vaccine, if you need your proof of stuff, that's what you're going to do. And traveling years ago, you used to have that. So it's not like we haven't had these like medical passports.
It's a little booklet. It's just a little piece of paper. And it's not a big thing. It's not like they're microchipping you or anything yet.
Yeah.
So somebody's asking about herbal remedies from other countries. So yes, and where I probably
I have a Tennessee remedy right here.
So there are, and like in Greece we do a lot of teas mixed with raki. And honey, but there are different like tinctures and things like that we've tried in different places. Japan and China, you go anywhere in the East, and like actually when Liam got his hand stuck in that door and we had to go to 3 hospitals, the final one, the doc actually wrote us a prescription for an herbal remedy. It's not like I needed a prescription like here in the States we need a prescription because it's like controlled substance. It's just like this is what you're supposed to go get. And it was for swelling and pain. And there are all sorts of interesting things like that. So very cool.
Elliot, thank you very much for the super chat. We saw that on here.
Thank you. We actually saw one.
We saw one. I'm actually going to open up the live feed on my phone and kill our bandwidth.
I have to refill my drink. Excuse me. Daddy, talk to everybody.
I will.
Okay.
Apparently our videos are inappropriate for kids because I just got a notification on my Professor Walters channel about Walters World. I guess because we're having wine and whiskey. So Don Travis is asking about his trip to Japan in August. He was positive about a week ago. Now it's about 25% chance. What do you think? I think August is going to be a tough call. I think it's going to depend where the U.S. stands. And where you're at. But the thing is, that will just be a blanket where U.S. is at. So if New York City is really bad, people might just make a blanket thing about the whole U.S. And so that can be an issue. For me, I'm worried about all my trips through September. Like for some reason, October, I feel we'll have something there like that'll be more on track. Because one of the things you have to look at is the economic impact of this. Because you have countries that sometimes a quarter there or more of their income is based on tourism. And they can't survive that. And with the infection rates and the mortality rates on this, it's going to be like, look, we're going to starve to death, so it's really a tough call, and that's why it's really hard for a lot of people. To really say what can really happen. Oh, Katie Starr got some Clorox wipes today from Kroger. Yeah, we haven't seen wipes since early March. So let's see. So Benson Ben. Are the Greek islands expensive? No. Well, Santorini can be a bit pricey because there's so many tourists to go there. But if you go to places like Crete or Rhodes and stuff like that, you can your money will go a lot farther than if you're going to like Saint-Tropez in the south of France. So it goes a lot better too. Yappa's wipes are low too. I hear you. So Mr. Blanc, we have not been to the Easter Islands. That was a little bit out of our price range to go do some of those things. Fortune Cuppy, good to see you on here, buddy.
Oh, dang. Sip, don't gulp. So good. I don't want you to drink it all.
Ow. It's stuck.
Watch it come down your face. Isn't that good?
That is good.
Okay, so I
it's
froze
like a whiskey
ginger ale. The Coke one I don't like as much, but I'm not a huge Coke fan. I have ginger ale, ice cubes, and then I put the Jack inside and blended it up, and it's lovely.
And you know everyone in Puerto Rico. Anonymous says, we do have some friends from Puerto Rico. Jocelyn loved her time there. She actually got so much hate on our video that I had to turn off the comments because it was like the most hated, most mean commented video.
You know
and she
why?
was all wonderful about it.
But the thing, oh no, it was all because I said that everyone speaks English. Like, don't worry if you don't speak Spanish, everyone will speak English with you, which is absolutely true for tourists. I realize Spanish is the language of Puerto Rico, and everybody speaks Spanish. But if you're a tourist, you can very easily find someone to speak English with. And that's all I was trying to say. I guess I just didn't say it the right way.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is over the years, we've tried to learn how to say things nicely and how to and we don't realize this. I mean, that's one thing we all learn is we don't realize that words hurt people, and we don't realize. I mean, that's why I always try to put things in a way. It's like we try to be very objective with our critiques of destinations, because some people get really, really pissed off. Like, I'll have people that will be like, we used to get death threats on here because people are pissed off about our loves and hates and stuff like this. I'm like people get mad because I'm like, you have to pay for the bread. Oh, you don't have to pay for the bread. I'm like, actually, if you don't know and they get you to eat it, then no, you do have to pay for it. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Don Francis, Osaka is really nice to go to, but I would rather, if you have to choose between Kyoto and Osaka, you're going to go Kyoto every single time. Yes, Verner's is a good mixer, but I don't have any with me.
So hand sanitizer, disinfecting wipes, no. It is
Henry,
not
Henry,
coming back here at all.
Yeah, Henry, I'm glad you're getting some with you where you're at, Henry. So that's
Hi,
nice.
Brian, fellow drinking traveler.
Aw, Brian, good to see you, man.
Mariposa said something about me slapping you within the first 30 minutes.
That's like Chuck, I think. So, Mariposa, if your destination is a U.S. state or non-North American country that requires you to be quarantined for 14 days, and you want to travel within that destination for a week, who pays the first 14 days?
You do.
You do.
Yep.
You have to pay for all that stuff. That's on you. Again, it's one of those things that it's like, we're not going to stop telling people not to travel to us, but we are going to put in some caveats. And so that's one of the ways you can actually do that.
Oi, Sao Paulo.
Oh, meu amigo. Ah, Rafael Martins de São Paulo, Brasil. Muito bem. Tricolore é o único time lá. Ponto, fim da história. Okay?
All right.
Oh, Brian Smith. He made us with Tito's vodka. I remember like a month or two ago when Tito's was like, don't use our vodka for hand sanitizer. So
somebody said that there was a meme I saw, and it was one of my theology teachers in high school. He's a priest, and he said, things I learned during quarantine. Gin is a better hand sanitizer than vodka, or something like that. I don't know if that was it, but it was something like that, and it just cracked me up. I just love it.
I learned that's something new for me,
too.
too.
Fortune Coffee. Yeah, I do. I really do want to go see Dominica. I think it would be really cool. Jasleen says, anyone considering traveling to the Northeast, avoid cities for the summer. Maine, Vermont, Rhode Island have 14-day quarantine. New York, New Hampshire are still wary of tourists. Better come this fall. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, that our own country is dividing it, so much into like what we can see and what we can't see and where we can go and where we can't go. It's like it's crazy right now. And like I've been reading stuff about how I lived in Savannah for a long time, and Georgia opened up a lot earlier than a lot of people. They also shut down a lot later than a lot of other people. And they're like, a lot of my friends have concerns that because they opened up first, all these people are going to like just, go there. And Savannah being Savannah and having a beach and everything else, there's like a lot of people jumping, right in there. And they're kind of concerned about people bringing more in. So I wonder how that works, like, what do you do with that? Like, can you really say, no, you can't come through here, but you can't shut down an interstate, right? That's a federal thing. And it's kind of wild, Yeah, it's tough. My gosh, what is going on right there?
I'm trying to find all these questions we missed. We missed a lot. I want to go back to the other thing we were looking at.
I feel like that thing is not giving us...
It is not. So, again...
It's not giving us all the questions.
So, for those of you that are used to our live feeds on YouTube on Wednesdays, usually things run a lot smoother, because we have a better kind of system for those the questions going by. But since we've now mixed this together, so Facebook and YouTube together can be on here, Our stuff that we get is way different than what you guys are getting, so we do apologize for that. But this is why we're learning, and we're doing it together. And we thought, what better way to learn than with whiskey and some fellow travelers? So we're working on that here.
Nick, are you Greek? Or like part Greek, or did you live in Greece or something? I mean, your name's Nick, so there's a good chance because we're all Nicks or Nicoles or something.
So Yapa says Morocco has great herbs, tons of teas. Yes, oh my God, if you go to
brought
Morocco,
home a bunch of spices. What is it? The head of the shopkeeper.
That stuff's amazing.
I brought home I don't know, at least 500 grams of that. Right?
Yeah.
I mean. That was my big thing. I love that. I sprinkle it in. I love that in drinks. I know that sounds funny, but like a hot drink and put a little bit of that.
And that's the thing. I think people don't realize when you go to Morocco, the food and the teas are unbelievable. And what's crazy, you never would think this, but Morocco has really good wine. Mm-hmm. Like really good wine. We drank so much good Moroccan wine. We were so shocked
at that. That was not an expectation.
I know, and you can't find it. It's like Uruguay wine. You can't find it anywhere outside. It seems like.
Oh, and by the way, means to travel. Mark stopped by Benny's today.
They only have it in the north side, up in Chicago. Yeah. They don't have the Tanat there. So Terry, Truth Seeker, my kids love the show. Thanks, Terry. Or I'm going to pretend that was for us. I don't know. So thank you very much. Okay, so Mary Posta says, where are our travel destinations? Are flash mobs out? Flash mobs kind of died out about 2014, I think. So you could try to do one, but probably get taken down because they're going to think you're doing something crazy.
It's probably not going to happen. Oh.
Don Francisco, Best Rick Steve's episode, definitely not his Europe at Christmas episode. No, that wasn't one of his better ones.
I don't think I've seen that one.
He has a couple decent ones. Like Rick does a really good thing. He makes Europe approachable or accessible for a lot of travelers. So
Avianca really just canceled my ticket to Guatemala for July. I think they claimed bankruptcy.
Oh yeah, Avianca was actually I think they did.
Shoot.
Or they were going to Avianca.
I like Avianca.
Yeah, Avianca. We work with Avianca. They showed our videos for a few months last year in there. Like when you watch TV on your flights, we were in Avianca's stuff. And someone early before was saying how the Boeing CEO said U.S. Airlines is going to go out of business, and the assumption was it would be one of the big three. I would not doubt that. I think we're going to see a lot of consolidation and things disappearing, and that's one of the things. Those
that makes me want to cry.
I know, and those side flights. What's nice is we can just drive to our local little airport, 45 minutes away, and fly to Atlanta with Delta. And I'm worried, is that going to be there anymore? We're going to have to drive. You're going to have to go to Indianapolis, go to Chicago, go to New York to fly.
Please don't make me go to O'Hare.
Yeah.
Just please don't. And they've already shut down a lot of flights. Like Delta's shut down a lot of flights from help me out, Midway.
I need that, buddy. What do you need my phone for?
I just want to.
You have all that stuff downstairs.
Liam's distracting us. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Liam wants my phone because the Switch and the Wii U aren't enough.
Yeah, they haven't had video games or any electronic devices for 3 days.
Liam, there you go.
I'll get it to him. Here, Nugget. What? Did you stub your toe?
Let's see. Let's move down a little bit. Yeah, Neil, please, God, let me have wipes when I travel. I think that should be one of our t-shirts. So the Shut Up Mark t-shirt is almost ready. We should have that out here at the end of the month.
Instead of that's my new t-shirt.
That's what they were saying.
Yeah?
Yeah, so there's that. Okay, so I think Minneapolis 100. Hey, Mark, what is the most educational concentration camp to visit in Germany? Thanks.
Oh, wow.
So this is one of those things. What people don't realize is there's still a ton of the Konzentrationslager, the concentration camps you can actually go to, and they all have really good explanations. In terms of really learning, you cannot, beat is a really bad word to say, but going to Auschwitz and then going to Auschwitz to Birkenau, because Auschwitz, the real Auschwitz is actually it's all these brick buildings and stuff like that. But the ones where you see the train tracks going in, that's Birkenau, that's Auschwitz too. And going there, you learn so much. It's amazing, the horrors you learn. Dachau as well, outside of Munich, is that's one that they really want to teach people to. But I've been probably 6 or 7 around Germany, and not all of them are as educational, but they all have good educational stuff. But some have a lot more to give you the whole history of the entire National Socialist Party and things like that. So that's one thing I really, really recommend.
Nick says Naxos is reasonably priced and great base for seeing other places. Kefalonia also, but that's not far off it's pretty close to the mainland. We really love Crete, and I don't think that Crete is terribly overpriced in comparison to like Mykonos or Santorini. No.
Go to Hania. It's going to be cheaper than those.
Yeah.
So Mariposa says, whenever Rick's high. That's pretty funny. Sorry. Let's go down here. We have there's about 400 comments we kind of missed here. I'm sorry. Lorelai says, I could never stay at a hostel. I'm a light sleeper. I need privacy, no human contact. Yeah, then hostels now, they do have some family rooms and some private rooms now. There's some nice ones, but yeah, that's one of those things. That's why I say, so if you're traveling by yourself, hostels are good to meet new people.
We stayed in one in Switzerland with Mark's mom and dad. Like all 6 of us, we got 2 rooms, and it was as much as a Holiday Inn here in the States for that. But it was like a hotel. The only difference was that there were 3 rooms and we had to share. The bathrooms and the showers were outside in the hall. That was the only thing. And I wonder what's going to happen with things like that. There are so many pensions and places that we've stayed where you share a bathroom on the floor. I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, and those places are mom and pop run, and I don't know.
Katie, that's why we drive to Indy. Because it's not that far.
Yeah, we do drive to Indy a lot.
Yeah, it is nice when you're by a major airport. That is so good. Yes, Mark, we're working on that Shut Up Mark t-shirt, so it'll get there. So somebody was asking about if we do airport reviews, and I don't actually do I don't do airport reviews. We don't do hotel reviews or restaurant reviews. We probably could. I mean, I know we could, but like with restaurants, we don't do restaurant reviews because restaurants change so quickly, and I've seen which is the Bourdain effect and the Diners, Drive-Ins, the Dive effect do a fantastic job of promoting these local businesses and stuff like that. But what we like to do is we like to help people learn. This is what, for example, this morning we put out what to eat in El Salvador. The thing is I could tell you restaurants in El Salvador, it's not going to matter. You need to know what to eat. So wherever you go and have your own adventure, you know what you should have. So that's what we try to do. We try to give people some ideas relative places to stay and stuff like that. In terms of airport reviews, we hate O'Hare. Indy's amazing. We love Atlanta. Bloomington, I like that.
I like Zurich. I like Amsterdam.
I love Amsterdam.
I have a love-hate thing with Charles de Gaulle.
Yeah,
love because it gets me to Paris. Hate because it's so slow and it's a mess. But it's not as bad as O'Hare or JFK because I think they're the armpit of the earth. Banako says, if money wasn't an issue, would you try Emirates' most expensive plane seat service at least once?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, but also no, because I don't know that I could ever go back to flying anything else. That's my fear with, the first time you get bumped up to first class, it ruins every flight after that because you don't get it every time,
Yeah.
So yes, I would love to do that. But I would love someone to buy me an Emirates first class.
Yeah, so Emirates, if you need help promoting whatever, we'll fly over. That's fine. Oh, there's Henry Martinez. Thank you very much for the super chat, buddy.
Chat, dear.
Have you guys heard of the American Samoa has no COVID-19 cases? Would you guys ever consider going there? Of course we would. That's the thing is we would go anywhere. If it's not a war zone, and I'm not worried that people are going to take my kids or something like that. Well, even then, we've gone to a place where people think you're going to get taken. We still go. But it's basically, it's like active war zones. Or you should not go there. We'll go. I have a problem with that.
In addition to my hotel room being well appointed with kitchen and balcony, my bathtub will be the closest I'll get to the swimming pool. I know. I wonder what hotel. I tell you what is not going to open. Hotel pools. I don't know because there's chlorine. But if y'all don't know this already, pre-COVID, hot tubs are like jumping into a cesspool of warm goo. I mean that's the worst thing ever. My kids jump in them.
Warm
goo. Okay.
It's a hot tub.
Whatever. The hot tubs are the nastiest.
It's hot in a hot tub.
My kids have been in hot tubs all over the world. They've got great immune systems because of it. But that's kind of a thing too, herd immunity. So
Chris Hingley, have you been to Gardaland, their water park in Italy? Yes, we've been to the Gardaland main park. And actually, I have the video ready to. Well, actually, I got the video edited together.
Ready?
Well, here's the issue. My chip that had all because I took my phone to take all the pictures and the B-roll. I've got the main video of like, hey, Mark here, and blah, blah, blah. That I've got. But like the rides and all that other stuff, I don't have that. Like that chip, I can't find that chip, but I have it on a hard drive, which is not playing nice with me right now. So you'll see Gardaland, because I have a video on comparing U.S. amusement parks to European amusement parks. And honestly, Gardaland, if you've got kids or not kids, the European parks are much more fun for everyone versus the U.S., where it's, I don't know, they're not as expensive. So yeah, hot tubs are great if you don't think about it.
Yeah, but like I said, my kids have been in hot tubs and hot spots and whatever all over the world. So, you know.
So Means to Travel would like to say, in O'Hare's defense, yeah, because you're from Chicago. Security lines at CDG,
Chicago.
I feel, are way worse than O'Hare. Last summer I had to wait in line at CDG for 3 hours. Yes, if you do not have priority boarding stuff at CDG, the lines are insane. We actually have a video of that in some of our videos talking about pre-check and stuff like that, because it can be insane.
Yeah, so that's one place it's really good to be. Like we've got our status with Delta, and that is really good at CDG. We actually took some pictures and video of that last summer coming home, because it cut our wait like by hours.
Yeah.
DTW Detroit is really good. We do like that.
We never fly. When we fly, we always come
transfer.
back. We come back through Detroit.
No, we've gone out through Detroit, because your mom and I like that one little restaurant, because we got good and schnockered there one time.
That narrows it down to a few. Let's see, Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie. Let's see.
Wait, what did that say? I want to see that.
I don't know.
Hotel pools are open today in Arizona, so says Chris Bates, and he would know.
Good man.
Yeah, interesting. Saw a picture of a goat walking on the Charles Bridge in Prague. Goats are roaming free now. Animals are loving.
Was that on Honest Guides?
Awesome.
They're pretty fun. I like those guys. If you're looking for fun videos, go check out Honest Guys. It's another good YouTube channel to check out. Let's see. Nick's too tall. Yeah, Nick, you're like what, 6'7", 6'6"? You're pretty tall, dude. Nick Barnett's, I guess I have a great immune system. I've been attuned to those hot tubs.
Wait, listen, we get in them. It's no big deal. We do it. I'm just saying that, whatever.
So Jesseline wonders, in visiting the Bahamas, do you just stay at a resort, or is it easy to venture around?
So the Bahamas it's kind of like, I stayed in a resort, and this was pre-Mark, but we ventured around and ate. I know there was a time before you. I'm sorry.
I remember nothing before you.
What? Sorry.
You're just that amazing.
Holiday World, we got to talk about that. So anyway, I went out and we discovered restaurants and things like that, but that was 20 years ago. From what I understand now, you need to kind of be savvy about where you are, especially at night, within Nassau and some of the other areas. It's not really bad, but you'll know when to not be in a place is what I'm thinking. So Derek, Mr. Means to Travel, have you guys been to Holiday World, Splashing Safari in Santa Claus, Indiana? Great theme park. Very they do not nickel and dime their guests. It's also, from what I hear, one of the cleanest parks that you've ever seen. I haven't been. One of my very best friends, Lori, who I travel with all the time. Mark travels with her husband, Jeff. He's in a lot of our videos. Actually, our families travel together too. So they go and they love it, and we have been slated to go the last 2 years, and something has happened every time, and we haven't gone, and now I'm really regretting it. Let's not talk about it. Lee says, let's talk laundry. When traveling, do you wash in your own room, use a laundromat, or send it out? We do a little bit of both. Most often we wash in our room, and we will go to a laundromat occasionally. We rarely have. I'm sorry, I'm using yours. I know, I'm being the middle seat hog. Occasionally, we will use the hotel stuff in certain places where it's really inexpensive. Hotel laundry tends to be really expensive, in my opinion. So, like when we were in China, we were there for 2 months, and we sent it out. We took it. Mark would take it in his backpack. He'd just stuff it all in there, and drop it off at a laundromat, and they washed, dried, and folded everything for us. And that's probably what we do most often. After washing in the sink, like socks, underwear, those things get washed in the sink all the time.
So, time and chance, what advice do you have for local and regional staycations this year? This is the year that you're going to have a lot of people doing it. Yeah, book now for your places you want to stay when you feel things are going to be opening up, so you have a destination, so you know where you could stay. Because one of the things a lot of people are like, I'm going to go on a road trip, and it used to be, oh, wait, just pick something up on the highway on the way. Places aren't going to be open as much as they were, and you're going to have a lot of people on the road that are going out to travel if they're going to travel, and you don't know what's going to be opened up. So plan ahead for those kind of things. Also, for the destination you want to go to, you might have a limited number of things going on. Like someone was talking about, I think Chris was actually talking about this, from 6 to 10 a.m. Grand Canyon will be open. That's when you can get in. You got to know these things. So make sure you have your phone, have the apps for every destination you're going to go to, so you can be up to date with what's going on. That's going to be vital for local and regional staycations kind of thing. Also, Chris Bates wants to point out, the breakfast buffets may be gone for good. There doesn't seem to be a good hood solution.
A good solution.
Yeah, and so that's one of the things, because that's one of our big things when we travel, is if we can get a free breakfast, that goes a long way to saving you a lot of cash when you travel. And I know a lot of people now, like millennials, are really big for into hotels because they'll do the free like snacks and drinks in the evening. Again, that might be gone as well. So we have to think about those things.
Two things. One, I think I saw something. I think Joe Moore's on here at Big Sky Adventures.
Oh, yeah.
Joe is a friend of ours from high school.
His dad's the greatest teacher ever. Just saying. Joe was a totally awesome dude back in the day.
Joe is a very cool person, and he runs some cool stuff. They do fly fishing and all sorts of cool stuff out in Montana. And actually, I want to do that very badly, but I don't know. We're going to see what happens this year. We got to see what shakes out. There was something on
you're
feed.
Touching the wrong
I can't touch that.
That feed is right here.
It's going to come by because there was something up there that caught my eye. I wanted to answer. Dag nabbit.
Yes. Where's the sugar? The sugar? Why do you need sugar?
Don't you be playing with my sugar, kid.
No, you don't need any sugar.
No.
No way.
What do you want?
Go eat some paletas. You're not making candy lemons.
Candied lemon at 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, Sue was in London when the liquid ban happened, in line at Heathrow for over 4 hours. We had to get pulled out of line to go through security. Made her flight by seconds. Yeah, those are the things. That's why it's always important. Pack light stuff, everything you can in that care, and like the check if you have to. So there's that.
Yeah, dang! I wish that Lance is here. Did someone say whiskey?
Lance Lyle. Lance, go check him out. Good buddy.
The whiskey, dear.
Lance, amazing trainer. I should have stayed with him for a lot longer than I did, but amazing trainer, and he likes whiskey. So hey, what more could you ask for? And he's a good dude, by the way. Good dude. Kids are awesome archers, by the way, so don't mess with them. They'll shoot you down. Hunger Games style. So the girls are
Anonymous,
awesome.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, so some other things I want to talk about. Druid Athanaric. Hello, guys. Enjoy your travel videos. Thank you very much. Do you see Airbnb usage diminishing as this unfolds?
Massively. Not only because a lot of Airbnbs, there are people who went and bought like hundreds of apartments. Those things are going to collapse. People are. Oh, well.
It's my cousin. You can answer it. Say hi.
So, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of those are just flat out going out of business, which is probably good for some local places to be able to have apartments that, that they can actually rent and stay in, because that was an issue with Airbnb. The other thing is it's getting people are concerned about the cleaning because there's no standard. Like, they may put this thing out and say you need to do all of these things. That doesn't mean it's actually going to happen.
It's like, my kids need to go to bed. They need to eat well. But guess what? One was asking for sugar, and I'm going to guess they ain't going to bed anytime soon. That's the thing. And that's where Airbnbs, you can control. Like, if you come with your own wives and stuff like that, that's where the road trip stuff.
Gregory asks, how can y'all afford to travel like this? YouTube revenue, sponsorships, the world must know. We have a video on it, dear.
Yes, and we do not we do not do sponsorships. For those of you who don't know, most YouTubers, not most, but a lot of travel YouTubers, they get sponsors, or they get, like tour companies will pay for them to go, or they'll barter service. I'll make videos for you and we'll give you a free tour. And we don't do that. Like we will work with companies, but when companies have talked to us about being sponsors, I'm like, look, it's got to be.
We have to be honest.
Like
if
we're not
suck,
gonna.
We're gonna tell people.
We're gonna tell people that. And so 99, not 9 out of 10, 99 times out of 100, companies will say, no, we want you to basically be a commercial. And that's why sometimes when you'll see certain destinations, you'll see multiple YouTubers will show up the same place around the same time. You know, like last year, a lot of people in the Caucasus and stuff like that, and in Central Asia. Before that, you had the Iceland. Like, there's there's the tour companies that are paying for these things, and they all kind of sound the same with some of their spiel. It's because of that. And so we want to make sure we're as honest as possible. So we do not, if it's companies we believe in and they're willing to work with us in terms of letting us speak our minds, then it's fine. Because I don't want a company to think that we're going to tell that they're great when they're not. It's like, look, you want a commercial, not a review. So there's that. So we pay for that. I have a real job. I have a day job, and then the ads that show up on YouTube and stuff like that help pay the bills for the traveling bills and stuff like that, and super chats. And for those of you with the super chats, thank you so much. I'm sorry I've not gotten all these answered because this new system does not really help us know where the super chats are. So I do apologize for that. So there's that. Now there was one I saw. Jay Lee, are you based in Chicago? Someone from my LinkedIn had a story about you in a link.
JL. Maybe it's Jay Leno.
Could be. No, we're a little bit south of Chicago, but I have a lot of students that are from Chicago, so that might be why it popped up in there. Sorry of that. But it's funny because usually my LinkedIn stuff I put up is usually my Professor Walter stuff. So I have another channel that's Professor Walters because my day job I'm a marketing professor, and so I put up videos to help people about marketing and social media and stuff like that to help out my students, but also entrepreneurs and small businesses as well. So.
Yes, people used to dress up for
You gotta
flights.
say who it is. Banacos asks, is it true that back in the Mad Men days, Pastor used to truly dress up for flights and our cruises? Oh, yeah.
Honey, back then we dressed up for everything, and I wish I could have lived in those days. I love getting dressed up. This staying home crap, not kidding. Like, I was putting on a dress earlier, and I was like, I can't really wear a fancy dress.
I put on a collar today for you all to be
I did
fancy.
wear sparkly this, but I was really putting on a dress and like a necklace and stuff. I miss getting dressed up and going out. But I'm also the girl who, like, you'll almost never catch me in, like, athleisure unless I'm actually going to the gym or coming home from the gym. I occasionally might stop at the grocery store in between. But, like, I love to get dressed up. I wish I had lived back then.
She always dresses well. My mom always dresses well, and I look like a... Oh, Amit's on here? Hey, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So, Fortune Cuffy, who's been very supportive over the years, thank you. Because your Iceland video was looking at visiting and found a tour company that does self-driving tours. 10-day ring road. What are your thoughts on such a trip? You can do it. It's a really cool trip, but be prepared for some of the switchbacks and roads and stuff like that.
Okay, but let's talk about that. So we had trouble in the eastern fjords, but what I found out later, so what looked like one little turn on the Google Maps was more like here at the top of a mountain where we passed the top of a freaking waterfall. I mean, it's the worst driving experience of my life. If you've been on here, you've heard me say this story like 50 times because it scarred me. However, what I found out later is there is another road where we could have bypassed some of that, but it also is super, super windy. So you're like coastal and you're up next to the mountains and there's a lot of wind going on. So it's probably 6 and 1/2 dozen of the other. So that was little touch and go for me. However, there's no one else on the road, so you don't really have to worry about, accidents. It's more like just can you get up it. I would get something. You have to have a stick. You need to have a stick because you need to be able to downshift going down some of those mountainous roads. And I think that 4-wheel drive wouldn't be a bad idea because some of those through the fjords are they're dirt. They're good dirt. It's not like junky. It's been flattened and stuff. So there you go.
So Gallivanting Gals, when they were getting their RV, they convinced the dealership that sold our RV for us to let us film all the different types on the lot. That's awesome. But I'm going to guess it helps that you bought an RV. So the Gallivanting Gals were friends of ours that do some travel videos. And so they had an RV until 1 year ago this week. And they got a reminder that, you sold your RV this time last year. And they're like, no. Because like Brian Smith is saying, my vacation will be in my backyard this year. And for a lot of people, that's what it's kind of be. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. You can see like,
oh yeah,
this is one thing I've learned.
See the great things around you.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the time to go see the little museum. Shut up, Jocelyn.
No, go on. No, you're saying exactly what I was going to say. Go.
So there's like little museums and things all over near us that we forget to go and experience those things. And also, you know, you're supporting local businesses, and those small museums are going to be hurting. I used to be on the board of our local children's museum, and it's a very small museum, and I have no idea how they're going to make it through this. That's a big thing. So Eric Brown is drinking vodka and Red Bull. Sugar, you're gonna be up
all night. All I know
that used to be what I drank after I got done working.
We all used to drink that back in the day.
In college, I would go to school all day, and then I would wait tables or bartend at this restaurant on River Street, and then I would go to Deja Groove. And the first thing I did was we used to get, what was that shot that Cheney and I used to get?
It's pre-Fireball, so I don't know.
No, Lord, no, not Fireball. But it was something good. Anyway, and then we get let's just say it was a shot of Jameson's and a vodka Red Bull, and I would drink that vodka Red Bull all night long and dance until 3 or 4 in the morning.
See, I remember my buddy Magnus and I. So my buddy Magnus, we've been friends for like 20 some years. He's a German buddy of mine that when I went to school in Germany, we became best buds. We're still friends to this day. You know, like our kids were going to go to soccer camp this summer together in Barcelona, and well, now COVID's not going to happen. And so he came to see me when I used to live in Lithuania. We met up in Estonia.
The Cape is great.
And we ended up drinking vodka Red Bull, like 5 or 6 of them, and we like partied all night, all the next day. Like next night, like I'm like, why can't I sleep? I'm like, oh right, 6 Red Bull. Like I'm surprised my heart didn't explode. Actually, it's funny. Like when we do, when I take students abroad, we have people from the university come and they tell students vodka Red Bull is bad news. Like it's bad for you, so be careful.
Hardest airport transfers you've ever experienced while on your travels. So always at
O'Hare's, yeah, and sucks. Heathrow, we have to go like terminal. But what sucked the most
Kenya.
Oh god,
Kenya was awful. Like we had to get a travel visa, leave the airport, get 6 other stamps and things, and God knows what. I mean, that was really bad. And that was because we had to switch airlines because there wasn't one that went from one place to the other. I mean, it was terrible.
Megan Morris would like to point out to Amit that not too much has really happened because we're really bored today. We're trying out a new service, new live feed thing, so it can be on Facebook. And
this chat gets better as Jocelyn gets tipsy. Megan,
yeah,
I love you.
All I know is Jocelyn has not been this tipsy 1 hour in. Dude, this is usually at 3 hours she's at this point.
I'm not that tipsy. I've only had 1 drink. I'm just like happy today.
1 drink?
You know why? Because
the blender has been...
Shut up, Mark. I've only had... This is my 2nd drink, butt face. Ooh, butt face.
We're a family channel, apparently. Apparently not anymore. Now I know why we got the...
hey, you've dropped an F-bomb here and I haven't. So
not tonight.
Not tonight.
That's
not
right.
happening. But you know what? Here's why I'm such a good mood. Yesterday, we decided we were just going to go for a country drive. So we got in the car. We drove. We went to Bloomington, which is like 45 minutes away. We got 2 dozen Krispy Kreme donuts. I ate like 3 yesterday. I have not had that much ever. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that April's making you the Cheerwine bourbon slushies.
See, she would drink.
That's a good daughter.
Yeah, April is awesome.
And then today I went to the chiropractor, and afterward I went to Sam's, and it was so cool. The things that make me happy now, it's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah, today I dropped off the kids' books at school because they had their drop off, and so we got the stuff back.
This was supposed to be the last day of school.
Well, for
real, that's sad.
Yeah.
This is the thing that came up over there that I wanted to read. Mark says, I asked our Westin Times Square, New York City hotel to do our 4 people laundry 5 years ago. A beautiful hotel, but we would not have stayed there, but I got a great price. When we arrived back from our outings, every item was boxed and wrapped in gift wrap. Gift wrap. Karen and I said, oh, and called the front desk to ask the price of this mistake. Guess what the hotel intended to charge us?
Oh, no, you can't do that on this feed.
You can't tell me? I mean, it had to be
at
least $1,000,000.
$1 million.
It had to be like $1,000. Like, that's not even, when they charge you like $12 to wash a pair of pants, and possibly fold them. Like, I can't even. There was somewhere we were, and it was like underwear was like $5, and I was like, "Are you flipping kidding me?"
Well, there's one place there was something like that where like all we did was wash the clothes we were gonna fly home in because we don't want to stink on the airplane. So it's like, look, we'll wash everything in here. But I'm like, because it was like, look, I just want a clean clothes to fly in because I don't want to sit in my own stench. And poor Jocelyn, every time we go to Central America, she's sensed by the most drunk, stanky ass man or woman ever. Like, oh my god, every time it's like
college students that are so drunk that all the alcohol from the last 10 days is oozing out of them. They're farting, they're like burping, and like it's all of it. And I'm like, why me every flipping time?
I mean, it's hilarious because it literally is every time.
And Mark's like, do you want to switch with me? I'm like, no, I'm used to it.
So Dan B, have you all been to Romania? I have with my mom. Jocelyn has not.
I've not been there.
I like Brasov over Timisoara. Timisoara's nice though. And the thing is the Transylvania part of Romania is much better to visit for the sites in terms of my opinion. I like that much better.
Thank you for the comment on my sparkles. Where are they? They're in there somewhere. Whoop.
So Diego Vargas, hey, what's up, Walter's World? What's up, Diego? Would you rather do Prague or Bangkok or somewhere else and why? Wow.
Well, we've been to Prague several times.
Yeah, I've not been to Bangkok.
So Bangkok, because we haven't been there. Also, I like to say it.
Ba-dum-bum. Someone's drinking.
On my second.
Yes. So Iceman was saying you don't need to book a self-driving tour in Iceland. Just go to all the places yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's one of those the self-driving tour kind of stuff is more like they give you the itinerary, so you can kind of I would say plan your own. You don't need to pay for that, except if it's like one of those self-planned things from the rental place. They might give you some ideas. Let's see. Oh, so Mr. Means to Travel. So I was a bit preoccupied at the beginning of the chat. I'm looking snazzy in the black polo. Way to class it up. I'll need to step up my game tomorrow. Yeah, so if you want to check out Means to Travel tomorrow, they have a live feed. And Derek, who gets to buy Tanat wine because he's all fancy.
I swear to you, I am so close to just driving up to a Benny's up near y'all and picking me up like a case of it. No joke.
Yes, my parents and I are traveling a road trip to Charleston, Savannah, and Clearwater next month. I recommend Savannah just because I heard so much about it. Honestly, you will like that one the most of all three. They're all nice. You're going to be fine with all, but we just really enjoy Savannah a lot. Hi, Lori Sims. Hope you're doing well.
Hang on. Wait, what is that?
Yeah, I just read that one. I literally just read it. She's reading the one I just read to you all.
Savannah is probably the best of all of those. Charleston's amazing. It really is. It's just that the Savannah's historic district is like much bigger. It's actually the largest historic landmark district in the country. So you get a lot more of it. And that is not taking anything away from Charleston because Charleston is
Charleston's a cool city.
Yeah.
Val, we're in Illinois, not Indiana. So close, but no bananas.
Galnet and Gal says putting on real clothes feels strange now.
I got a belt on too. I forgot. Woo! I got a collared shirt, an undershirt, and I'm wearing pants with a belt. And look! I have real shoes on too.
I don't.
I was surprised I could still get into my pants.
Oh,
I was doing so well on the diet. Well, I'm still down.
It's not a diet. It's just a new way of eating.
I know. Because I got down to 50 pounds. I'd lost 50 pounds literally the week quarantine started. Now I'm down 40 pounds. Well, I'm proud of myself that I'm only there. I racked that up to not eating junk food all the time. And not be able to call Jimmy John's at work. Be like, what up, JJ?
I'm at the same as I was. I don't know how that happened.
Yes, great.
Simon. Jimmy Two Toes is here.
Well, what's up, Jimmy Two Toes? Well, I thought you were cheering for Great Simon. Doesn't Mark look like a chiseled, fluffier Indiana Jones?
Aw, he's my Indiana Jones.
Well, my dad actually had, when my dad was younger, he had that kind of Harrison Ford good looks back in the late 70s.
And then when I birthed Liam, I thought, my God, it's my father-in-law. It was the craziest thing. Liam looks so much like Bill, except that he's got the glint in his eye like my dad, which is like really frightening.
Lauren.
See you later, dear.
Michael Mon. Oh, I not said hi to Michael Mon.
I haven't seen
my brother.
You. Nice to see you. La 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 la.
Let's see.
Somebody staying home. Was that the Galvin gals? They're gonna stay home and buy a hot tub.
Lori says my grass looks like a wheat field in the backyard. There's a lot of neighbors that have that kind of stuff here because there's lawn mowing services. They're starting to go back to work and stuff like that. So you can see who went back to work earlier than later. So it's kind of funny. Because my old greenie, it's funny, the lawnmower we had forever was the lawnmower that my grandma actually guilted my dad into buying for myself and my brother when we were kids. Because she's like, your kids aren't mowing that lawn unless it's a self-propelled mower. And so my dad bought one. So that thing is like, shoot, he was probably 35 years old. And it was funny. It got us to this house and no one else could start it except for me. And it's like, it mowed this yard the first time and it was like, I know you're going to be okay. And then it died. So, where's my buddy Christian? You there?
Yeah, Christian said that you made that comment about being Brad Pitt from Legends of the Fall.
Yes, there we go.
Jägermeister straight.
Yes, that's the only way to drink Jägermeister. It's a great digestive, to be honest.
It is.
Especially if you have fatty foods. You drink the Jägermeister, it goes down.
It actually is an amazing digestive. I also really like it with ginger beer in the winter, like fall and winter. I think it's a really tasty drink. But so many people just sit there and take shots of Jaeger, and that's wrong. It should be savored.
Maybe they had a Hoxie beforehand. They're trying to digest the pork shoulder.
Shit fire. I mean, poop.
Poop fire. There you go. So, Nilo, yeah. So, we used to be working out 5 to 6 times a week, and now we haven't. So, we got to get back on that. I actually got some weighted gloves today. We got our punching bags.
Guess what Jocelyn can't find? No weight benches. No weight benches on the Amazon, the Target, the Walmart. No flipping weight benches anywhere.
So, for those who are watching on Facebook, this has been a constant consternation of Jocelyn that I did not let her get a weight bench.
Because the day before we went into quarantine, I was like, dude, I want this weight bench.
Anthony, we're doing well. Thank you very much for asking.
Oh, shut up, Mark. You just totally interrupted me.
So Shakes JG, River Cruise in Europe are gearing up for this fall. Would you go? Yeah, I would go. Problem is the kids have school. But I have a feeling that with what's going on, probably with all the stuff with kids' school, if quarantines and things like that, it's going to be a very interesting kind of setup wherever you do travel. So there is that.
Elliot, I've not been through a hurricane in Louisiana, but I've been through one in Savannah. I've come in. Actually, I was the first flight in to Savannah after Hurricane Matthew, and that was crazy. I went down to see some friends and check on some things and whatever, and that was wild because I've been through a lot of we have hurricane parties in Savannah because Savannah typically doesn't really get hit, and so it's been a fun thing to do, the hurricane parties. Yeah.
So I moved down. Andrew Burnett, good to have you on here up in the UP. The UP is actually part of our summer road trip plans, so we'll be driving through your neck of the woods. So Jose Burnett, have a flight booked to Nice, France for June 26th. Should I just cancel now? No leisure travel to France allowed. Present according to Delta. So here's the thing. I would cancel your hotels because you're not going to do it, so you can get that money back because you're still over 30 days out, so you should be able to get your money back. The flight thing, it doesn't matter when you cancel. You'll get the e-credit, but if they end up canceling it, you can actually get your cash back. Because if you cancel, they'll give you the e-credit if you want to have the e-credit. If you want to get your money back, you want them to cancel, you can wait a little bit longer. Like we end up waiting till things are supposed to be done and see what's going on from there.
I want to read 2 things before it moves. Lee Bridges says, important driving tip in California. Going from LA to San Francisco or vice versa, leave at 9 a.m. or 3 p.m. You'll avoid the rush hour at both ends. That is brilliant piece of information. Y'all write it down. So give Kenya a try. I also did a 4-day walking safari. Best experience ever. Safe, and walking in the bush was absolutely fantastic. Tent camping in East Africa, can't beat it. So we did that we did some of that in Tanzania. Absolutely loved it. We had such a great time.
Yeah.
But we did not do the walking thing because you had to get a special permit, blah, blah, blah. And also our children were not old enough to do it. So that's a thing. So I think we just got a super chat from Henry. Have you guys ever hiked over a glacier to a mountain in Switzerland? How dangerous is it to hike the Swiss Alps? Any fun stories? about Switzerland. My only fun story about Switzerland is about how I took my child to the Picasso Museum, and they literally sent a docent to follow us around as if though we were art thieves. I mean, it was insane. It felt like what's that guy on White Collar? I felt like I was that guy. You know, the really hot one. What's his name? Anyway, they followed us around. So that's that. We've not hiked over a glacier. I don't know that I have the cojones to do that. Actually, I could.
Anthony Stone, I hope you're getting discharged, my friend. Good luck getting out there and getting back home.
What happened?
Good to hear. He's been in the hospital. So I'm
sorry.
glad you're doing
I'm
okay,
glad you're
man.
getting out, and I'm glad that you can have some cheer with us while you're in the hospital.
So I will have a drink for you because I'm going to guess the hospital is not letting you have a drink.
No, they don't do that.
Losers. They're holding you back, buddy. I'm glad you're doing better.
Unless you're in a hospital in certain places in the world, they kind of look the other way sometimes.
Okay, so David Rainey, is Frankfurt worth visiting if you only have a short time in Germany? No, it's not.
No.
It's good for the airport.
It's a business place. It's not like...
If you're going to fly in there, go to Heidelberg. You can actually get a train direct from the airport down there. It's like an hour away. Go there. It's not worth it. I mean, I've been there a lot of times. I've taken students there because I took business students, of course, going to Frankfurt, seeing the DAX and the stock exchange and stuff like that was really cool. But there's some decent museums. But if you want to see Germany you want to think about, you can go do some wine tours for out of there. So there's that.
Philippe says, beer me.
Beer me. I gotta go get one.
James says, thanks both of you for so many wonderful videos. Porto was a revelation. What's the best time to go and get around the country?
So in Portugal, it's funny. The first, I lived in Portugal for 5 years. I'll take some.
I know, I'm going to bring you something special. Yeah, go ahead.
You're going to bring me something special? Baby, you are special. You just come back here, I'll feel good. So for those of you who don't know, I did my PhD in Portugal. So I lived 5 years in Lisbon, and before that I visited 12 times because I had friends in Porto. So I spent tons of time there. If you're going to Portugal, it's nice all year round. Even when it's the hot time of the year, it's not that bad because it's on the sea, so it's not super hot. But the tourists are there from middle of June through August. So I love going May into early June, so you can have the festivals and stuff like that in June. And September, October, you'll be fine if you're coming from any place that has cold weather. It'll be great. I remember when I was teaching there, and the students from Sweden would come down, and they would literally at the school they would sun themselves between classes in January, and the Portuguese are in full winter garb. You know, I remember the first couple of years I was there, the only thing I ever wore, I put on a sports coat. That was my winter jacket there. So you'll be fine for that. But I would say May, early June, best time to go. The people are fantastic. I moved back to Portugal, no problem. Our youngest son was born actually in Lisbon. I would totally go back. Totally go back. Jasleen, my favorite place to go in Canada, Quebec City. It's amazing. There is that. Oh, Andrew's heading into Alaska tomorrow. Very, very cool.
I'm jealous. I want to do
Means
that.
we'll bring a case of Tanat to the UP. You're the best, buddy.
Yeah.
You're the best, Eric. Because I'm sure Liz would totally just drink it all herself. But, Derek's looking out for us. So I'm scrolling through. So your thing here is going like this. I'm scrolling through 10 minutes ago stuff. Let's see. Give us 50. I don't think I do 50 push-ups right now. It means the travel's not wearing shoes. All right, I'm Thomas Reiser. How you doing, buddy? Lori, good to see you. Lori's I'd rather live with earthquakes than hurricanes. Yeah. All right, so we're getting some. How tall is Mark? I'm just under 6 foot. It was funny. I got to 5'11" at 3/4 when I was 15, and I never grew anymore. Whereas my brother was 5'8", then went to college and went 5-6 more inches up. Is in 6 weeks. I'm so there is that. Yep. Let's see. I'm trying to catch us up.
Catch us up 5,000 things later.
I know, we're so down. So those of you that have asked questions, we're sorry. I'm just trying to scroll through to get through to some of the newer ones.
Pepsi or Coke? Pepsi.
Coke.
I'm from North Carolina.
Let
me tell you something. Pepsi if it's on tap. Otherwise, it's always Coke.
No, the correct answer, it's always Coke. Thank you.
No, I like Pepsi better on tap.
Like I said, Coke is always the answer. Though I will get her, she's not being honest with you. The only thing she really likes is wild cherry Pepsi. That's what she likes.
No, I like. Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I like cherry Coke better than Coke too.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, so Jesseline, how many days did you spend at Banff and Alberta National Parks? Best time to visit? I would say 2 days at least, because you're gonna get in. You're gonna do like the little like walking tours, and then you're gonna do a real one the next day and go from there. That's what I would recommend. Let's see, Nicola Russ. There was an earthquake in Croatia a week ago or so. Didn't help the corona. No, it did not. I've been through a few earthquakes throughout the years when I've been on my travels. There was an earthquake in El Salvador when we were there, and we were right on the waterfront, so it was a little worrisome. But the alarms didn't go off, so I'm like, oh, okay. So there is that.
Hi, Myra. Chris Bates' wife is on.
Hey, Chris Bates. Oh, cool.
Christian Valdez says, Mark, do you guys have any stuff you've been binging on this quarantine? Yeah, Mark's been binging on Walter's World videos on the backside when he is editing them.
Yeah, and I've been trying to redo the Professor Walter stuff a lot. So for those of you who know, I'm a professor in my day job. So since everything's going online for teaching, I've been doing a lot of live classes, trying to make videos, and I'm teaching a social media marketing course, which was supposed to be in Vienna, Austria, starting next week. And now it has to be online. So instead of having like the face-to-face, hey, look, we're going to make these things, I would show them all the backgrounds and all this kind of stuff, how to do these things. Now I have to do it all online. And so it's been an incredible amount of work to try to get this class, because I think a lot of people don't realize is like what happened this past semester for a lot of schools and universities. It was an emergency. We're going from face-to-face to online, get over that. And that's very different than a real online class. And so I'm trying to create a real online class in like 3 weeks. So it's been a little nuts.
It's been a little bit crazy for Mark.
Yes.
I've been watching a lot of Father Brown. I actually bought BritBox because of Father Brown.
Yes, Nick, root beer does beat them all. I'm a root beer person. I will give you that. Little A&W goes a long way. Mezzo mix in Germany, yeah.
Fierce mice, yes, absolutely. Sometimes you want an orange Fanta when you order a Coke.
That's right. Let's see.
I don't drink soda very often. Honestly, what I drink most, if you call it a soda, is ginger ale or ginger beer. I barely ever.
So Lori Sim says you're eating her favorite. She's getting down there.
Sugar, I bought so many, it's not even funny.
That was my gift, my Easter gift.
Courtney loves reading. Hi, I'm blind and I want to visit Italy with my family in the future. Do you have any recommendations of activity ideas that don't involve sightseeing? Love your videos. Absolutely. So.
Oh, that one tour we did, the market tour.
Oh yeah,
the market tour would be fantastic for you. Sorry.
So it's a market tour with foods. So you'll go through spices and like vinegars, oils, meats. Like you'll just do all these different things. And I would imagine that for someone who is unable to see, those things, I mean, you get like, that's the essence of Italy anyway, is the food. So you like the sight, the smells and the taste and stuff outweigh the sights of the food. So
and I've done that tour a few times, and we've taken students on the tour and they've loved it too.
But also
it's really
cooking classes.
I
don't know you know how that would work for you. I don't.
Well, the pizza making thing would have done really. You would have been fine.
We took a pizza class. There's all sorts of things like that. So I think that Italy would be a really good thing. But I want to say this. You have a super chat right there. Okay. I do want to say this, that when in Italy, the streets are not awesome. Like there are no cutaways. They do have the little bump things, for when you're walking and things. But just be really aware. I feel like I grew up in a town where we had the Illinois School for the Blind or visually impaired. And I know that the tapping is like this slow rhythmic thing. I feel like you have to be even more like faster with it, if that makes any kind of sense, so that you're not bumping into things, because the cobblestones and stuff are really crazy.
But I will say, when my times in Rome, that's one of the places I've seen some of the most visually impaired travelers anywhere. which is really cool. Also, Ljubljana actually has everything in Braille. A lot of places around. I remember the first time I went to Ljubljana, I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Yep, I remember
So we
that.
run Las Vegas. Thank you very much for the super chat. That was very nice of you. We appreciate it. Adam Cully, thank you very much for the super chat as well. And Adam wanted to know, have you ever been to the Japanese gardens in Ireland? No, we have not. But we hopefully, if we can travel to Ireland, we have flights to go there in the fall, and if things are open up, we will be there, and we will be traveling all around with the boys. Because Liam has not been to Ireland before, so we're going there to take him for the first time. And neither of the boys have been to Northern Ireland, nor has Jocelyn. So get the boys a couple new countries to check out. So we're doing that. So thank you very much for the super chat. That was awesome. We really appreciate it. And all the super chat people, we want to say thank you. And all the subscribers and all the members and all those things. It really means a lot to us. We love you guys.
We appreciate your support so much. Lee Bridges, this is really interesting. I've auctioned this off for hundreds, but free for the Walters. I will teach you to fence at the historic sites in Hollywood, including the big sign, swashbuckling and photo ops.
Hell yeah!
I think that sounds so cool. If you were on here earlier, my good friend Sandra was on here, and Sandra used to fence, and she's very...
She'd use it in real life.
She's awesome. Anyway, I would love that. I think that sounds like so much fun.
Thanks, man. That'd be cool.
Who is your most subscriber? What does that mean, Mr. Blonde? I don't quite understand that.
Who does most questions, most stuff, all those things?
Oh, I don't know.
So, yeah, I have to look.
It depends. Over the years, probably Tosh T, and then Darian.
Tosh T for a long time, and Darian.
And Mark
Finley. Yeah, those are probably the top three right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Sue says, what expensive country is worth every penny? Japan.
Oh, absolutely.
And anywhere in East Africa, because it's expensive to get there, but it's worth every dime.
Yeah. And actually, if you stay, depending on what level you decide to travel at, it's worth every penny. Absolutely.
Let's see. Trying to move down to catch up.
gosh.
I know. We're just gonna jump down. Gonna jump down.
Oh my goodness. We're planning a trip to Las Vegas next
So
March.
first off, Mark Nickerson on Facebook.
Shut up, Mark.
Wow, the third drink of the night. Those of us playing the game know.
I'm sorry. We're planning a trip to Las Vegas next March. I've got travel bank funds on Southwest, but they're only taking reservations until 10/30/2020. Should I just wait until the end of fall when they're taking reservations and hope they're still in business, or book with a major? Mark,
I think Southwest will still be in business. I'm not worried. I'm not really worried about Southwest. They've done their balance sheet's pretty good. Let's see.
So here's the thing. Vegas is talking about not having shows or any of those the big stuff that you go there for. Not having any of that until December.
But the food's still going to be fantastic. But you won't have any of the buffets.
Yeah,
And the buffets aren't as great as they used to be.
I don't know.
So now you have great restaurants there. So. I don't know. Benson Ben, Walters World. Have you been to a German beer garden? Has a bear pooped in the woods?
Is the pub Catholic? I mean, come on.
So for those of you who know, I actually did my master's in Germany. So I lived almost 3 years in Berlin. And I've gone to Germany every year since 1996. So, yes, I've been to a few, and I always recommend people going there. Even if you don't drink, you'll have a good time going to beer gardens. We were in October, we were in Freiburg, and Freiburg has this hill. You go up there, and the kids were playing around, doing stuff. We were drinking beer, having snacks and stuff like that. It's a really great way to meet locals, and if they know you're foreigners, like Germans will come up and chat with you, like, hey, where are you from? And so it can be really a good way to meet new people.
Especially in the smaller towns. Nick D and Means to Travel, she's probably not reading comments since that would overload her computer. I don't know if that's directed at me. I don't know.
I think it's I don't know.
Yeah, or if it's the two of them. I'm confused.
Yes, Iceman's true. Iceland is worth every penny as well. It's expensive, but it is definitely worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Bonocos.
But I don't think it's that expensive. It's marginally more expensive than a U.S. trip.
Except for the food.
Okay, but if you're a fancy eater, then that's normal. And you can go to the grocery store. Yeah.
So Bonocos asks, where have you utterly regretted visiting? There's not really any place I've really utterly regretted. There's places that I felt bad about going because I didn't take my family with me. I'm like, I wish they were there. That's actually been my more regretful travel stuff. And though I travel a lot by myself, it's like, man, I mean, it's funny. Like, I make it, to the airport before I call you?
Shoot. Have half the time you call me on your way to the airport. We're not very good at being apart. We're just,
because she's so amazing and I'm so worthless that it's just like,
because...
she's like, she knows I'll just fall into a ditch on the side of the road and die. Anyway,
oh my God,
Mark R. Hey guys, look forward to this every week.
Mark, that would kill me. Don't say things. Look in my hand is not going to bother me. Don't say things like that.
So Mark R. Hey guys, look forward to this every week. Have you been to Dresden? Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Amazing Christmas market in Dresden, by the way. The Green Vault was impressive. Plan to return next summer. Where else should I visit in Germany? Traveling by train. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, a lot of people, when they go to the eastern part of Germany, old East Germany, a lot of people don't know the places to go. Some great places to go in East Germany. Yes, Berlin, and see that. But you've got Dresden, which is fantastic. That was the Saxon seat, and there's amazing museums, churches there.
Did you just
all
say
kinds
Saxon
yeah,
instead
Saxon.
of Saxon?
Saxony. Saxon woman. Sorry. Anyway, Dresden's probably the second best city to see in, that's why it's called Saxolina in Finnish, because of the Saxons. Anyway, Dresden's probably the second best city to see there in the eastern part of Germany. Other great places to see in East Germany, the Harz Mountains area. If you go up to like Lublin and then go up to Rostock and Stralsund up on the north coast, that's really cool too. So there's some nice places there. But Dresden's really worth it in terms of that. Other place to go see in Germany. If you fly to Munich, you can use Munich as a base to go like Regensburg, over Salzburg, Austria, over Amagau. You can hit Nuremberg. We love Bamberg. We go to Bamberg all the time. So there's some good stuff there.
Nick Peterson sent a super chat, and I can only see part of the writing for it. I don't know where the heck it went.
How many days would be ideal to experience Northern Ireland, Mark? Trying to get an idea. And then I have to figure out
how we read the whole thing.
It's hard. It's
dag nabbit. So he is being. I know that I saw something when it came up. I saw something about being based in Belfast. How many? But okay, so Northern Ireland. How many? How many days?
Trying to get idea for my month in Ireland next summer, based out of Belfast. Okay, so from Belfast, you can get anywhere you want to go in Northern Ireland. It's not going to be a problem. If you're going to be there for a month. You don't need to stay a month in Belfast, dude. I mean, Belfast, I would definitely spend that month exploring all of Northern Ireland and the Republic, because you will have time to see that. Because Ireland's the size of a medium-sized state in the U.S., and so you can really see a lot. So what I would do with a month, maybe do like 5-day stays, and then like see all the stuff around 5 days. Like 5 days in Belfast, do that. 5 days in Derry up there, and see all the stuff over there. 5 days by Galway and see those things. 5 days down by Cork and Kinsale.
So you're talking about
all
the whole island.
That would be a good way to do it. Like that's what I would recommend to do.
Nick, we can talk more about that too on the members and patrons Facebook page. I think I feel like that you had written something there today, and I saw it for a second between other things. So we can talk more about that and give you a little more information on that page. And delve into it a little bit more. Judy Horstman. Oh my gosh, I knew a bunch of people by the name of Horstman outside St. Louis. Mark, how many countries have you lived in? You've lived in more countries than I visited. That's not a joke. He has lived in a lot of countries, like 12?
I don't know. So the U.S., obviously. And then I was an exchange student in high school in Australia and Finland. And then in college, I was an exchange student in Austria and Argentina. And then I did my master's in Germany, and then then I went and worked in Lithuania for 3.5 years, and then I went and lived in Brazil, and then after Brazil I went to Portugal. So there's that, and
China.
Oh yeah, I worked in China, and I've taught in a bunch of other countries for sure. Where I went to school in Austria as a college student. I actually teach there now. I'm actually teaching there this summer. Again, I've taught for them.
But like Italy, you haven't lived there.
I haven't technically lived there, but I spent
months.
Like almost.
Well, I mean, if we add it all together, it's
all together
like
6 or 7 months. Like the longest I stayed in Italy at one time was like 6 weeks.
Is that it?
Well, it's straight.
Oh, that surprises me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I lived with Nando for.
No, but I feel like you lived with Nando longer than that.
Well, I went and stayed with him like 10 days, 2 weeks at a time for like 5 years.
Yeah, I know.
Plus the 6 weeks straight. That's why
now it's a little bit harder, because not only do they have children, they have a child, but we have 2 children, and so like sometimes when all 7 of us get together in their apartment, it's a little harder to stay for like. And as the kids get older and bigger, it's like it's a little bit nuts. But it's still home to me. Their apartment is home to me.
And that's one of the things. Like some people are like, where would you want to get like stuck someplace? I want to get stuck in Vicenza because we have family. Like they're family to us. They're friends, but their friends are so much friends. They're family, so we're lucky to have that. Jasleen wants to know: is Vancouver worth visiting? Is 1 to 2 days enough? 1 to 2 days is enough. Honestly, if you're looking to go to the Pacific Northwest, I suggest Seattle and Portland over Vancouver. That's just me. It's cool, but I prefer Seattle and Portland.
The Bear in Exile, we're not in Chicago.
No, we are. We're in the Chambana neighborhood. It's a couple hours south. It's a little drive up north, up that way. We're down 57.
Hi Ben, how are you?
It's Ben down. Hey, my buddy in Australia.
Yeah.
What's up?
We
well,
are
buddy.
good. Travel Man podcast right there.
Yeah.
Do you have any nicknames? Honey, Daddy, Dad.
Chipper Swimfin. I remember that was when I was little.
What? Chipper Swimfin?
That was only one person ever called me that. Eric Willems. Random came in my head. Yeah, I haven't talked to since I was like 12. So.
Oh, but if Rusty was on here, he'd chime in with something.
I don't think Rusty knew Eric.
Oh.
So. I've been given a lot of nicknames on YouTube over the years, but I don't think that's really.
Sometimes I'm like, you SOB. No, I'm just joking because I wouldn't say that about my mother-in-law.
Exactly.
My parents. This is terrible. When I was a kid, they called me the Queen, and so
why don't you have some more drinky drinks?
And
Jinx, yeah. Super hot mama, amazing. Person. Josh. Anyway, hey Martinez, Mark and Johnson, how do you guys like arroz con pollo in Nicaragua? Also, have you guys ever had horchata in Mexico? Yes, actually.
Best horchata ever
in El Salvador. And you can go to Mr. Donut. I'm not joking. It sounds silly.
So
horchata was in today's video on What's Eating El Salvador, and Mr. Donut has the best horchata. And we actually brought 2 kilos of horchata mix back with us from Nicaragua, or not Nicaragua, from El Salvador, because it's so good. For those who know, horchata is a rice. It's like rice milk and cinnamon drink. It's fantastic. If you go to a Mexican restaurant, if you go to a Mexican restaurant, just ask for horchata. It's really Mexican
horchata is really good. But I'm telling you, I don't know what they do in El Salvador, but it's something else. It's just like a notch up. And that's not taking anything away from Mexican horchata because I order it all the time at our favorite Mexican.
And this is one thing for people going to Central America. A lot of people are worried about going to Central America. We love going to Central America, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, awesome. All these places. It's fantastic. And Henry's asking about arroz con pollo, which is rice with chicken. So what you need to realize is you will see on some menus arroz con pollo, which is rice with chicken, and then sometimes you'll have pollo con arroz, which is chicken with rice. So if you have arroz con pollo, you have a big amount of rice with a little bit of chicken on top. Whereas if you have pollo con arroz, you have a bunch of chicken with rice on the side kind of stuff. And so it's a little bit different. One is mixed,
one is not. It's not really mixed, but it's together.
Whatever you want more of will be the first word, okay? And I want to make sure you know that.
That's right.
And you'll love both of them. And whenever you go to Central America, buy all the hot sauces you can and bring them home because
in our fridge.
I'm like Lizano from Costa Rica. We bought all the different sauces.
Favorite.
Like we're down to just the chilero.
And
then the stuff in Belize we got.
And that stuff from Jamaica.
That was so
is
good.
That Mrs. Marie Sharps?
That's Belize. That's Belize.
What's the one that I got? It's another woman's name, I think. Anyway, so
Heidi C. For both Mark and Jocelyn, do you have a favorite funny travel story? Well, there's all kinds of ones where I got shook down the police, but that's not really funny. And we have a lot of other things. Oh, there was a time when I thought I was going to poop myself on the train in Argentina, and I was crying. And when I finally got to a train station to get off that was open in the morning because I'd been partying all night, I ran, and the 10 minutes it's closed all week is like Sunday morning from 6 to 6:10 a.m., and I got off my train at 6 a.m. And the whole adventure that goes along with that. I should make a video just on that.
You know what? They're all poop stories. I'm sorry, but they're all bathroom stories. Because they're just funny. And we're also 12-year-olds. That's what happens. Somebody asked about an inexpensive, a budget-friendly trip in the southeast U.S. Natchez, Mississippi. think not the big ones. Like Savannah can be done inexpensively, but you have to not eat in the tourist areas. You need to go like, oh, Sisters. That's a really great restaurant that's not terribly expensive and you get a mad amount of food. But you can't stay in the tourist areas if you're going to do those things.
Hey, so Baron Exile wanted to say we're only responding to super chats tonight. Have you been paying attention at all this entire night?
We
lame.
haven't done that at all.
Lame.
And I've answered at least a couple of yours.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Jeremy Seitz. Jeremy, you haven't commented for a while.
Yeah, we haven't seen you in a minute.
Good to see you, buddy. And Sudhakar from India, good to see you on here too. If there was any food in the world you could get right now, what would it be? Bigly con Anna from Vicenza, Italy. And then I would get
all the Rwandan food.
But I would get
Ethiopian food.
Szechuan spicy chicken.
Ooh, we have to talk about this. I told everybody we would talk about this. Street foods. You know what my favorite street food that I've ever had are these buns in Shanghai. You can only get them in Shanghai. And they're soup buns. So it's like this really thin dough. It looks like a big regular bun, right? But it's a really thin, like ravioli kind of noodle, right? And it's filled with soup and you put a straw in it and you drink the soup out and then you eat. Oh my gosh. So freaking good.
And Liam, of course, Liam was 2, I think, at the time. And he's like, put the straw all the way through. And so then all the soup just goes hot soup on him. And he's like, ow! That kid had a tough time, man. That kid about starved to death there. He wouldn't eat anything.
All he ate was rice, maybe a noodle
and
here
then we went,
there.
And then, so for those who know, Tianjin is the port kind of by Beijing. It's a huge city. And it's actually a really beautiful city, too. But not like, it's like beautiful in terms of modern, not beautiful in terms of historic. But they have all these parts that are like, they have a German restaurant that's like straight. We were there for Oktoberfest.
So authentic.
And it was so authentic. I mean, it was like from the inside, the outfits, the food. And Liam, like, I'm like, damn, this is actually right on. And Liam, like, obviously, I mean, we were there for 7 weeks.
Almost, I think it was 8.
Whatever, but we were like 6 weeks in or 7 weeks in when we went there. And then Liam's like this, and he was like we're talking like mashed potatoes as big as my head. He ate the whole thing and like
he mowed down like copious amounts of sausage.
Oh my god!
Like I don't know how he's 2. Like if you mashed all of it together, I don't know how all of that fits in his little bitty baby.
Miss Jellybelly says you can get those the xiao long bao in Shanghai restaurants and stuff like that in the U.S. at Chinatown.
Shut the front door. Tell me where to get one of those. Like I need to know that because. That is probably my favorite. That followed by Casillos in Nicaragua. What else do I really, really love? Casillos.
So for me, it was when I was working in China, and I would get this like pancakey thing with the egg in the middle, and then they put some meat and some like lettuce and stuff in there, and I would eat it on my way to work. And just because I got sick a few times, it was so good. I don't care. It was so good. Don't care. Kiss my behind. It was so good. Don't care. No.
My idiot husband goes to this thing. They've got eggs and raw meat. It's the hottest summer on record in Beijing, and they've got them sitting. Shut up, Mark.
They're cooking on their motorcycle.
That's 2 drinks. The motorcycle has the flat top grill on it, and they've got a greasy cardboard box full of raw eggs and raw meat. And it's like, I'm not kidding, like at least 37 degrees out, right? Like what is that in the other? It's like 110. I mean, it was stupid hot. 105, whatever, stupid hot. This imbecile eats at the same place. And he's like, you know what? It's worth the sickness. We've eaten, like somebody on our, on Walter's World on the Facebook page, said, I don't eat, that kind of food because I've been told it's really risky. I'm like, we've eaten that food, like street food, all over the world. And the only time we've been sick is this yahoo who kept eating from the same nasty cart every time and said it was worth it. But you can tell, like you can see the carts and the food trucks and you kind of know which ones not to eat from.
Oh, I knew this one was. Yeah, no, I don't care. It was so good. I don't care.
Tasted that good.
Don't care. Maybe if you would have not been in the bathroom when I had to come back from class one day.
Shut the front door.
Anyway.
That also means shut up, so y'all drink. Okay.
Let's see.
Bruce Springsteen or Billy Joel Springsteen?
Laura, I'd like to retire in Italy for 6 months out of your.
I would like to have an apartment in there.
So Megan Morris is answering a question. Someone asked, like, do you like relax or do you like?
We don't vacation.
Yeah, we don't vacation. We travel.
You know, Caleb said that when he was really little. He goes, "We don't take vacations. We take trips," and that is a thing for us. You know, occasionally we'll take something that's like a vacation. It's usually 3 days of like a 6 or 8 week trip. So
I can't handle doing nothing. So Susan Murray, Jocelyn, thanks for recommending Osprey Luggage last live feed. I'm glad we could. I got a great deal and kept my cost below $500. I'm booked for New Zealand in August. Awesome.
Congratulations, Susan. You're gonna love your bags, and you're gonna love that they have a lifetime guarantee. Even more, I promise you. Every penny you spend is worth it.
Yeah. If you're looking for Osprey, we actually have links. If you're watching YouTube down below, there should be some links for Osprey. Or you go to our website and you'll see
Angel Lee, we're not going back to China for a while, partially because we got to see so much. You know, having lived there for a summer was a lot. Like we got to see a lot of cool stuff.
It's hard for me because I get invitations every summer to go teach in China for the summer. I'm like, I want to go back.
I know. I would love to do it, but summer is our time to like get in as much as we possibly can.
And when we went to China then, Walter's World was not then what it is now, where it's such a big thing. It's like our summers, we've got to see as much as we can so we can give as much advice as we can. Yeah. So, but I know like my day job, they used to have stuff where they'd send professors over there for a couple weeks at a time to teach them stuff. So hopefully when all this COVID stuff's over, maybe I can like go for a couple weeks and do that. But it's really a cool time.
Nick D, I don't know who you're talking to, but Castlevaniac is an awesome name. Whoever said that.
Andrew Burnett, are you good friends with Rick Steves? I've never met Rick Steves, and I don't think Rick Steves would even know who we were.
Right.
But there was an article in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch a couple weeks ago where there's people that had gone to Germany, and they were asking, like, well, how did you prepare for all this to go during these times? And they're like, oh, we use Walter's World and Rick Steves. I'm like, yes, we came before him.
I love Amy Sherman Palladino. She's amazeballs. Okay, there you go.
Thank you, Ben. He says you're super cute.
Oh, thanks, Ben. That's sweet.
Well, he said we're cute, but whatever. I don't know. Okay, so Sloan Mama, good to see you again, Sloan. Mama, when you travel, do you prefer to have one base and do trips from the base, or would you prefer to move around with each different location?
Sugar, here's the deal.
We actually do both.
Yeah, we do both in the same trip. So because we take really long trips, we will do a base like in one place and do a lot of day trips, but then we'll be there for 2 weeks and then we'll go somewhere else for 2 weeks and we'll go somewhere else for 2 weeks. So, you know, and sometimes we'll just, on the way to that next place that we're going to stay for 2 weeks, we'll stop in 6 places. Like but we don't travel like normal human beings. You have to remember that we're just a little bit special, like weird special.
So Baron Exile, Walter's World Champion, I believe I've heard of it. I got into U of I, Urbana, and made the tragic mistake of going to a different school instead. Look, I just hope
it's okay.
It's okay. What I tell people all the time, like, look, choose a school that really works for you, and choose the major that works for you. Because I know a lot of people. I mean, I have a lot of students from China, and U of I has got a really, really good engineering program and a really good accounting program. Like they're like some of the tops in the world. And so a lot of my
Badham's pretty good too.
Yeah, marketing's like 12th in the country or whatever. Just saying. But the thing is, I see my Chinese students and their parents like, look, you're going here. You will study accounting or you will study engineering, and that's it. Like they're kind of forced into that, and I feel bad for them because like I have so many Chinese students that will come up to me like, I don't want to do this. I want to do something else. And I'm like, and I'll tell them, here's some other classes you can take. So if you don't do accounting later, you can have a different career path. And so, I mean, a lot of people are like, no, I want everyone to study my thing. No, I want people to study what's right for them because they're the ones that have to look themselves in the mirror every day. So I'm glad you made the choice, Baron Exile. I'm glad you did what was right for you.
Derek says there's a phenomenal Blue Moon version that is horchata flavored. So delightful.
What? Where? I have not seen that.
We're going to have to do that in the EP too.
Because Derek's in Chicago.
Yeah, because he's fancy.
With his fancy, Tanat wine and horchata Blue Moon. I'm sure there's a 312 with heaven flavor too.
Thoughts
Goose
on what
Island
study
and
abroad
shit.
programs could look like in the fall? Hoping
That-
to be headed to Madrid this fall.
I would
Difficult?
say don't plan on having that study abroad programs in the fall. Timothy, yeah, I think you need to check with your university because some universities they've already decided to cancel them. And they, like I know where I work, they're not sending anybody out and they're not taking anybody in. Though I have written recommendations for people that are going in the fall that I don't know if they know yet, but I would write your study abroad office and be like, hey, what's going on here? Elliot L., have you been to Monteverde, Costa Rica? We have been, and it is really cool. You should go. But I actually like Arenal. It's because it's easier to get back to San Juan if you're flying out, if you're going to go there. Yes, Ben, all the spicy sauces in Central America are fantastic. Food that sounds like a big fart brewing. There's a lot of food that do that.
What would your best advice be to an inspiring travel vlogger? Put out regular information, like have a regular set. Like we put stuff out every Wednesday and Saturday.
Don't do what? Okay, cool.
Whatever. No, go on. You do it.
Find your voice, what you want to talk about, and stick with that because, and don't be scared to experiment with different kinds of videos. Like we used to do a lot of like top 10 lists, what to see and do. We used to do language videos and stuff like that. But what finally got people to like really watch was our 511 Hates video. We really focused on being like honest travel advice. And that's where we really grew from there. And I actually work with a lot of travel channels and a lot of YouTube channels and just say, look, look at the 20 YouTube channels you watch. What do you like and not like about them? And look at your favorite 20 travel YouTube channels. What do you like and not like about them? And learn from them. But find your voice. Because people are going to, like, if you make videos that you will watch, most likely other people there's people like you too. And so do that. But do what's right for you. Because you see every 3 years, there's like a new group of travel YouTubers that kind of come through and they kind of cycle out because they burn out. You got to do what's right for you. Like being honest. This is the best thing we've done. It's just always been honest with our travel advice because I don't want to have to fake it. I don't want to have to like, oh, this is the greatest place ever because they give us money. And you can see that on some travel blogger sites is that you can see they're like mailing it in because they're taking the money.
We also understand like you may need to have sponsorship, but don't lose your credibility in taking sponsorship. So, when you talk to people, say, you know what, I will say your good things, but I'm not going to rave about your everythings, right? Does that make sense? So, honesty is something but that's just a value that we hold very high. So,
and I don't like Justice. I don't fault people that they get the free trips and stuff like that, or the what do they call them, like the journalism visits and stuff like that. I can understand that. I completely understand. I don't fault them for that. But you have to figure out what works for you. And if that's what works for you, go for it. Because that's why you'll see all these things online that are like, we'll teach you how to be a travel blogger. We'll teach you how to be a blogger and travel for free. And they do good. They do stuff to help you out. So
Mr. Blonde says, have you had Bammy in Jamaica or curry goat? Actually, we've had both.
Both. I love Bammy.
And so the apartment that we stayed in Ocho Rios was we had a woman who came in and cooked, and she was
went to the market with her.
Yeah, she was used to like sort of being like the cook, the private cook, and then leaving, right? Or like I don't know, but I was like, hey, come on, let's go to the market together. I want to learn. And she's like, you want to do what? And I was like, can I just go with you? And she's like, yeah, okay. I mean, we had a great time together. And she taught me to make oxtail. We went through the steps of curried goat, but the kids were doing stuff, so I didn't really get to like be in the midst of that. But I got the basics of it. But I had such a good time in Jamaica. I tell you what, like some of the people that we met in Jamaica were maybe like just the most down to earth, open human beings. Like it was awesome. Yeah.
So Don Francisco has a suggestion. I should say Walter here with Mark's World, and then people actually call my first name. Very nice. Eric Brown, Love and Hates are the best videos usually. It's funny because the don'ts and the shocks do way better than the Love and Hates, but I feel the Love and Hates really help people out a lot. Actually, my new Love and Hates, when we start traveling, get to travel again, I start making new Love and Hates. Instead of doing like all the hates first and the loves, I'm actually like how we done on our blogs. I'm going to go love, hate, love, back and forth that way, so people get some more stuff.
Lee Bridges, I want to hear about this story. Ever have to get out of a location quickly due to an emergency? How'd it go? I had to bail from one location when tanks rolled in due to a civil war starting. Holy shnikes. But I didn't mean shnikes, I meant the other word. Dang.
So there was a couple times when I was a bit scared, whatless. I was in Peru and the tanks, it was weird because I was walking down. I was in.
This was 20 years ago, yeah?
Like 98 or something like that. And Shiny Path was gone ish by then. But it was I was walking down, there's all this market kind of stuff going on, and I was in Lima, and then all of a sudden there's hundreds of people running. It's all of a sudden everybody starts running, what the hell? And then the tanks come around the corner and the personnel carriers, I'm oh, and I'm I don't know what the hell's going on, and I just make a beeline. I start running myself, and I see they were going this way, I go that way. I ran back to the hotel. I'm what the hell's going on? I'm oh yeah, they were just getting people off the streets. That's all. I'm oh, okay. Flew to Cusco the next day. Went to Puno after that, and went into Bolivia. I'm whoa.
Oh goodness.
So there are some things.
I want to read this one. False Bird says, I'm studying the psychology of music taste and was curious how traveling and seeing different cultures has changed yours. First of all, False Birds, you and Christian Valdez need to get together and have a chit chat. Because he is a heck of a musician, and I'd like to get you guys kind of together so you can talk about things. But so I've been introduced, and you, I'm sure, we've been introduced to a lot of different music styles, like fado in Lisbon. Late at night, you would hear the fado. You'd go to sleep listening to fado, and it's the saddest, but most you feel it in your soul. It's just a deep, deep thing. I love to listen to music from Greece because those are my people, and that's the music of my people from forever, right? It definitely there's just so much with music. My kids listen to Bob Marley, and we go to Jamaica, and we took them they had heard Bob Marley before, but then when we go to his house and in Trenchtown and we see that, the kids are it's all the time now. We get in the car and they'll ask to listen to the reggae channel, it's definitely influenced us. Also, what we've seen. We've been to Mozart's house, and Brazil.
Brazil,
oh, Yvette, my heart, right? I love her.
You can't help but shake your booty to that.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway,
so cool.
Moving on. 7GH, the UK, there's the Erasmus Study Abroad program. Brexit, Corona might shut it down for good. I think what you'll see is Study Abroad will shut down for 6 months to a year. It'll be back. That's the thing, is the coronavirus is not the end of the world. Okay, it's just not. Okay, so things will come back eventually. It'll just take a while.
I don't think anything's gonna shut Erasmus down forever.
It's a really great program.
It's a huge program.
When I used to teach in Europe, I had so many Erasmus students coming through. It's just study abroad. You don't shut down study abroad. People do that all the time. Let's see.
Curried goat is so yummy.
So, Ashley Clark, how did you get your kids so well adapted to traveling? My husband and I want to have kids, but worry we won't be able to travel as much. You can give us hope that we still can. You can.
Oh, sister.
Travel with them, and they'll get used to it. That's why little kids that travel, you can tell the kids that travel a lot, because traveling for them, they know. They put their headphones on, they put their thing on, they're like, shut up, Dad. I want to watch.
Shut up, Mark.
Yeah, exactly. They know, oh, wait, we got the new movies on. Click, I'm watching Trolls World Tour, because my parents wouldn't pay for the download, the video on demand. And so the kids know that. So you start them young, and they get used to it. So for them, it's nothing different. It's if you wait, because we get a lot of people that will say, look, I'm going to wait till they're teenagers, and then they'll appreciate it. I'm look, you don't just travel for your kids, you travel for you. And for you to have those memories with them there.
With them, so it's not just about their memories, it's about your memories with them. And also opening their minds in ways that you can't in any other. It's just nothing opens your mind like travel. That's factual in my opinion. There's nothing that does that. But also from a mothering standpoint, and I'm not telling you how to parent your child, but this was my in my mindset going into parenting, was that my child was going to adapt to my life. I wasn't going to just be a slave to my child. When they're very little, you have to do certain things, right? But if you're breastfeeding, traveling with a kid is like the easiest thing in the world, because you're carrying the food with you. You're just, you just put them in the little baby Bjorn and like pull a thing over you, and there you go. You're feeding the baby, and they nap next to you, and you have that constant touch. It actually makes it like so many different cultures in the world do that, where they keep their babies wrapped against them for years, actually. And I think that it's a bond that is really special. So there you go.
So that Monty kid said, should I pick Barcelona or Berlin to visit? If you want to go out and party, they're both great party cities. Barcelona, if it's summertime, you can't go wrong with either of them. You're fine. Just flip a coin, you'll be good to go. Adam and Kelly, how was your experience with seeing Gaelic football final? Once in a lifetime, thanks to Stephen for Irish people. It was. So I was there, this is a couple years ago now, when the final was going on, and my buddy and I were coming in, and we were watching the game outside a bar with all the Irish guys around. Everyone's going crazy, and this lady's like this tourist walks by. It's like, where do they have the paintings to buy? And the guy's like, what? And this lady's like, I was told there's paintings around here to buy. The guy's like, lady, I'm watching the Irish, Gaelic football final. I don't know where the tourist things are. Well, they said it's around here. Where is? And she's like getting into this guy's face. And this dude's like 6'8", and this dude is huge.
Don't get an Irish man mad.
I'm like, he's gonna kill someone. And she's like going at him, and I'm like, lady, like, he doesn't know. He's not a freaking tourist, man. He doesn't know where the tourist stuff is. And so it was crazy. I mean, it was awesome to watch, but I mean, like, that lady coming in doing that to that guy. And then when she finally got pissed off,
that is a bad tourist.
She was a horrible tourist. She
Don't
was
do
a
that.
horrible tourist. I was like, oh my God.
That's so funny. Susan Marie asks, any mid-air horror stories? Honey, yes. We don't talk about them. Like, I can't. I can't handle. If you want to talk about it, then I'm going to plug my ears and...
Turbulence makes you almost hit the ground. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, moving on. We're moving on.
Okay.
Loves and hates of San Diego. No, we got a dunce of San Diego. They give you all the stuff. San Diego, probably the best city to visit in California. It is amazing. If I could have carne asada fries right now, it'd be a great day.
Nick Barnett says love and hates are what actually drew me into this channel. You know what? And to some of our longtime fans, that's what brought them in. But you know what? Nobody watched them, so it's hard to do love hates when nobody's watching them.
Well, they still watch some. It's kind of like, if I look at it, the don'ts videos get by far the most, and then it's the shock videos, and then way down is the travel advice videos, and then it's the love and hates, and then it's the what to see and do in a country or what to see and do in a town. Those are real low. But the thing is even though they don't get views, we still want to make them to help people travel, because there are people that go into these, like Cuenca, Ecuador, or going to El Salvador. Like, you know what? There's not a lot of stuff out there for them. So if we can make that video or that blog that can help people, we're going to make it too. So don't worry. We still do make the love and hates. I got plenty to come.
Lori says, I still got bad reactions when I said I was going to Croatia and Serbia.
Why?
Sugar, you know what? We told people that we were going to Rwanda, and they flipped out and thought we were going to be murdered in our beds.
People were mad. They're like, how could you take your kids? I'm like, have you been to Rwanda? It is the safest place to go. It's amazing.
And the people are a light to the rest of the world for forgiveness and helping one another. I mean, just absolutely incredible people. So, yes.
So Don Francisco, Don's been rock and roll. I find the customs officers at Heathrow and Narita are super friendly, and both ask about random aspects of life in America. A lovely touch when you're in a new land. Yeah, we will have that, and sometimes they ask that for a reason, to make sure you're going places. I know when I've flown in some places, they're like, "What do you do for a living?" And then they'll like ask me like, "Well, what did Adam Smith say about this in economics?" I'm like, "Really?"
I don't know, because I teach marketing,
but that was a while ago. So. Anyway, let's see. Moving down. Trying to catch up. Trying to get back down at least somewhat nearby. So Leah Garcia Schroeder. So true. My little guy's a great travel. We started young. That's right. Good job, Leah. Awesome.
Just, it's all in what they get used to. I've never tried goat. Who else in this chat has tried goat?
We've had it a few times.
Goat is actually something that is like, it's like a supplement for for lamb in a lot of places. Like in Greece, you'll eat as much goat as you will lamb, because really those are like the fancier foods. So like pork is like the everyday meat. It's your turn to fill, but don't go making mine like yours.
Okay. So Don Francisco, you need to do a collab with the legendary Drew Bensky. He's too big. He won't talk to us. No one ever wants to really collaborate with us, which is I've always found really weird.
Us, just
we have awesome fans, but we've reached
and that's
out to
all
many
we
people.
need.
We've reached out to many people to do collabs, and most people are like, no. A few people have. Like, we actually play this with some of our collabs, and actually we have an interview with the Gallivanting Gals coming out next week.
Yeah, it'll be out next week, I think. So there was something. Oh, there it is. Miss Ellie Jelly Belly. I like your name. You need to visit Puerto Rico and San Juan. There is so much reggae in the streets, and some of the biggest Latino music artists originally from there. I have. Mark hasn't been there. I have friends who, two guys from the States married, brothers married Puerto Rican women. And they live there, and so I've been there, and I loved my time in Puerto Rico. It was really good. The videos are really old. They're at least like 6 years old. And I'm not very good at making videos anyway, but I was really bad, like astronomically worse than I am now. So there's that. Mark says he thinks I did a good job, but you know what? He's married to me. He has to say stuff like that, right? Have you heard of First to the End of the World program? No, I haven't. I have no idea what that is.
Amazing Race with Couples.
Oh, Amazing Race with Couples.
Next time.
That might be fun. I don't think we'll do it, but that would be fun. I like classical Puerto Rican salsa. So the salsa in Puerto Rico, like we were watching people dance. So we were there for my sister's 30th birthday, and one of her best friends from high school was with us, and she has taken salsa. That girl got up, and I was just flabbergasted at her skills. Like she looked like she'd been doing it all her life, and there's no way I don't have that kind of rhythm. Like, I can go out and dance, but I don't think I could do that. It's just, like, something amazing. Our daughter could brag at 9 that she had skied Terry Peak one weekend, floated on the Nile to Murchison Falls the next, and swam in the Indian Ocean the next. Kids are very adaptive. You know what, Annette? Like, that's our kids, too, although they have not floated on the Nile. But, yeah, like, our kids have done so much. You know, it's funny, Caleb's geography teacher didn't apparently know who we are. It was like, or that we did this. It was pretty funny. He was like, oh, I want to show you guys these videos on YouTube. This guy's really great. He does all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. And all the kids are looking, all his classmates, you know, because he's gone to school with these kids for like 3 years. And they're like, oh, Caleb, it's going to be your dad, you know, whatever. And it was Rick Steves.
Every time.
And it's really funny to us.
Every time we did it, Caleb's friends were like, hey, Mr. Walters, guess what we watched today?
We watched Rick Steves today. And it's hilarious. But our kids have seen so much. I mean, Caleb's 13. He's been to 50 countries. I couldn't have even thought about 50 countries at 13.
I've been to traveled. 2.
You've been to 2?
At 13, I was to Canada and America.
Oh, at 13, US. I was Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. Okay. I have to outdo you by one.
So the ice tray was on the flat, so I opened up, it fell everywhere. So you have the Coke balls, and then Coke balls. She got Coke balls in her drink, babies. Coke balls in her drink.
Can we see the Coke balls?
Angelique, can you speak Chinese? My Chinese is
Bu yao.
Bu yao, which means I don't want. Let's see. Wu shu jiao shou. Yeah.
Wu shu jiao shou.
Wu shu jiao shou.
Da shu something.
Yeah, that I can't remember. God, it'll come back. Give me a few more drinks. I'll remember a few words.
What I loved about, like, I didn't learn much because the words that I learned, I think I must have had the wrong inflection on them, you know? And because people would look at me like I had horns coming out of my head, I was probably insulting people totally unintentionally. But what I loved about speaking Chinese is that there's no conjugation like for days. It's like today I don't want, yesterday I don't want, tomorrow I don't, like it's all the same. There's no change for days and stuff. That made it easy. What made it really hard is that wherever you put your intonation changes the word entirely.
All right. Sorry. Trying to fix a few things. I don't know why. It's weird because like we're used to having like the YouTube feed next to us so we can see how it's working. And I can't get the YouTube feed to pop up. So I have like our YouTube thing going and then the comments going. And then there's what you're seeing here, I think. So I have to watch the replay on this one to really see.
Noel Ebert or Ebert.
Noel's accounting for.
Floating in the Nile is the last thing I want to do. What about the Crocs? So when you float in the Nile, you're not floating like it's not like you're floating on the current river. You got a boat.
Random. Though, if you're in the Pantanal in Brazil, you can actually float down, and the jacaré, which are the alligators there, are like waiting for you to float into it. My buddy Nando and I, when we first met, we were floating down in these inner tubes together, and and he's like, dude, you might want to watch out. You're floating through the jacaré. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then like, you know, like when you're in a tube, it like you rotate around. I'm like, oh. It was like this was his head right there. I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, I thought, like you were joking.
Oh goodness. But all the float things I've seen about the Nile is that you're on a boat. It's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best floating. It wasn't even floating. It was whitewater tubing. We did that in Ecuador. That was some cool stuff.
Oh, that was
right
cool.
there.
And that we got to the point where even the guides were like scared. Like, no, you're getting up now. We're all getting out now. And Liam's like, that was great. If you weren't, what did he say?
He said the first 5 minutes you're scared for your life. No, the first 5 minutes you're just freezing cold and you don't care about anything because you're freezing. And then you're just scared for your life. That was the
But
best.
He meant it in the best way possible.
Oh yeah, he loved it because we got out and he's like, let's do it again. And we're all like, oh hell no.
But it was cool. If you ever watch some of our Ecuador videos, you'll see the stuff coming by. And actually, we'll have some new Ecuador videos coming out, I think the end of this month because Ecuadorian Independence Day. So I have that. So Nick Peterson says the biggest disappointment this summer is many county and state fairs are canceled in America. Yeah, that's always a fun thing to go to.
For those of you who are not American, please come to the U.S. and like in August, go to a state fair or a county fair. It is like, that is quintessential small town America. It's just the coolest thing. I love them. I've been to state and county fairs in probably 10 states, and they're all special and amazing. Yes, travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it sorely. Mark Twain. That is also
what Joseph Rosendo says at the end of all his episodes.
Every episode with that. Joseph Rosendo is my travel hero.
Yeah,
if I could meet a famous person, that's who I want to meet.
Yeah, he's fantastic, and that's why
I
know Rick Steves is more famous on PBS, but Joseph Rosendo
is culturally sensitive.
Level.
He is positive in ways that nobody else is.
And he will make a fool of himself just to let you feel like you do stuff.
He enters into the culture in ways that nobody else on TV does. And that's something that we do all the time, and we do make asses of ourselves but I just want to be in that. I want to have it.
So speaking of Rick Steves, Don Francisco, I love how Rick Steves always makes his way into these live streams. Any update on the intro song being commissioned for your videos? No update on that. I'm working on it. We'll see. Christian had to come up with some ideas for me. Let's see.
Balloon Knot. I don't know where you are, so I don't know if we visited you.
Let's see. I'm glad no one's having issues.
Were there issues?
Well, no, the Gallivanting gals were. Oh. Let's see. So Susan Marie Johnson, that's like me when I try to speak French in France. Hey, well, as long as you're trying, and you're like,
people appreciate that, right? Jimmy Ramirez. Hi,
hey, how are you, buddy?
Jocelyn, longtime fan here. I've never traveled out of the country, and I'm planning on hopefully visiting France and/or Germany next year. Any tips on things I can do? Stay airline. So we do have some videos. Obviously, we have a bunch on France and Germany, but we also have some like mistakes that first-time travelers make. So those are things that you probably want to like just watch those videos. You may have to say like YouTube search Walter's World and then mistakes
or you can look on you can go to our waltersworld.com, and on there
Yeah.
we have the blog versions of a lot of the videos. So you have the video, because you look for the blog will show up, like the don'ts of someplace, it'll show up, and then you can have the video will be embedded in there, and then the written version of it as well, so you can kind of do it that way. That can help you out.
But basically, we really like to, when you book your tickets, book with the airline. If you find a cheap flight on Expedia or something like that, take that find out what airline that's on and go to that airline and book it. That'll make it less expensive for you.
So for the people that want, like with the 2 marks, it's because the background is the background. Like before this started, I had like a "we'll be starting soon," and so that's the background that was there. So that's why
because he's
right
twice
there.
as important as I.
No, you are the only one thing that
Shut
matters
up.
in this world. Oh my god! See, try to compliment her, put you down.
No, I just haven't said it lately.
Bam.
We're scheduled to go to Uganda in January. We'd love to add time in Rwanda. What are the odds of January things opening up? So I don't know. I think that Africa is probably going to get hit a little bit later than the rest of us, and I think given the proximity that people live in more dense places and they're unable to quarantine themselves the way we do. Like we can have food delivered. We can go to a grocery store for and get 2 weeks worth of food. That is not feasible in those places. So I have a feeling that it is going to be more rampant. But I also think that things like herd immunity are going to be different there than they would be here. So I think you need to wait and see what happens and really pay attention. IATA is a good website to look at what's going on with those specific countries that you're looking at. Please do go to Rwanda. You'll absolutely love it. There's a cool place called the Gorilla Guardians Village. It's near Musanze, and it's incredible. Like great cultural experience. We really get to delve into things. So look at those things.
So, Simone Rasmussen, awesome name. What is the travel experience that had the most impact on you? I think, I don't know. For you, I think it was probably your first time when you went to Greece.
Yeah, my first trip outside of the country was but it was also because I went home, right? Yeah. A place that I thought of as home for all these years. That was probably it.
Yeah, for me, it's a similar thing. It's that first trip you go abroad and you're like, this is so different. It really changes a lot of kind of stuff out there, how you see things. Yes, Megan, I'm glad we can put out some more Ecuador videos for you. Ecuador is an awesome place.
Ecuador is really cool. That was a country that really surprised me. I didn't expect it to be as diverse as it was, like as far as like ecosystems, like the ecology of the place. It's so diverse, like so cool. Anyway.
So Jeremy Seitz, given the current circumstances, would you ever take a cruise in the future? I'm not a cruise person personally.
Cruise people, period.
Gary Bembridge on Twitter, and he's on YouTube as well. He does a lot of cruise travel tips. Dude's like been on every cruise ever. Watch his stuff for cruise. We have a few cruise videos to help out, but cruise is not for me. But the thing is, people are like, oh, this is going to be, COVID's going to be the end of cruises. It's not. Think about it. Cruises, they give you all your food. You don't have to unpack. They take you where you want to go. You're in a controlled situation, and you get to eat all you want. It's too easy for a lot of people.
But I don't like you telling me where I'm going all the time. I need to fly by the seat of my pants for a little bit. Brad says, sweet, more travel stuff to binge. I've never heard of Joseph
Rosendo.
Rosendo.
He's on PBS Create. He has some of his old videos. You can find him online. He's a bit older now, but he does really good stuff. He actually does tours and cruises and stuff like that. They're a little out of our price range.
God bless you. Jocelyn, have you been to the Georgia State Fair? I mean, of course you have, but how many times? Actually, I've not been to the Georgia State Fair. Chatham County Fair, yes. I went to another one in I don't know what, Glenn County? No, it's not right. I don't know. I've been to another one in another county. I can't think what it is. But yeah, I've not been to the Georgia State Fair.
So Rowan Perez on Facebook, me and my wife were supposed to go to Paris because of everything going on, could not go. We were waiting to tell everything till everything opens up. What kind of tip can you give us? It's driving me crazy. Look, things are going to open up very much regionally. It's going to be like state. It's going to be a city, a county, region, and then a country, and then.
He said, "Is driving a good idea?" Learn to read, dude. You got a PhD.
That's why Michael Mon just donated $10 because you put me down. Yeah, driving's a good idea, Roman.
Not in Paris. Dear God, don't drive in Paris.
Outside of Paris. If you're going to be driving in France, what you might want to do is fly into Paris and then get to where you want to go and rent the car from when you get to Avignon if you're going to the south, or you're going to like Rennes or something like that. In Normandy or Rouen or something like that, and rent from there and go. That's the best way to go because driving in Paris is just a horrible experience. So there is that. Jocelyn. Thank you, Aussie Fly Girl. Loving our Walter Roll gang, hanging out together.
It's nice to see you, dear.
Adam Clark, I don't think Trubisky's long for Chicago. Goa is a great place to visit.
Kilimanjaro up close is so cool. Ooh. The real like word for Kilimanjaro is Kilimachro. And I think it sounds Greek. Totally sounds Greek, doesn't it?
Because everything sounds Greek.
Because it's a Greek.
Kimono.
Kimono is the robe.
There you go.
Okay, we're quoting My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which is, by the way, the best documentary ever made.
Okay. Anyway.
Was there a super chat we missed? Did you say that Michael put something on there? Thank you. Just a small thank you for bringing this wonderful community together. Such a nice, diverse. Oh, and then of course it cuts off because we have this weird feed thing happening.
Yeah,
Michael.
Thanks,
thank you,
buddy.
and thank you for being part of our community.
Such a nice diversion during these times, and it's great to keep the travel bug alive. Thanks, Michael, and I'm glad we could do that because I know because we've been doing these Whiskey Wednesdays since like the middle of March. It's been 2 months now, and then we used to do every Saturday as well. We stopped the Saturday ones in May. After 6 weeks or 7 weeks of that, and so it's been a really great thing to do because for all of us, we're kind of stuck home, and we get a chance to talk travel, and now that we're starting to think about the future, like, oh, we could travel in the future. Right? It's like, hey, it's nice to do.
Your social. We're used to having. We're never alone. I mean, we're alone, like the four of us, but generally
we're alone. The four of us are alone.
The kids, us, but I mean.
Now I understand why people said there's probably not going to be that baby boom 9 months after COVID started because the kids are already there. So you ain't got no time. You ain't got no time for love.
Only people who don't have babies yet are going to have more babies. So, but what I wanted to say is that we're used to having friends in our home all the time. Our house is... We had
to have the conversation this week that we might not get to have our big Christmas party. Like we started having our big Christmas get together, but I figured out a way to get around it. We're going to create a Christmas market in our yard, and so we'll have like a bonfire. We'll have the hot wine, and so people can be a few feet apart. We can still talk.
And I'm gonna make what I think would be really cool is if I could. I have several friends who are also handy, so. You know, if I could get like a couple, 3 of them and me, we'll each build our own little hut. You know how they have like the Christmas markets have little huts. And Kathy Walters, I know you're going to get behind this, but we'll decorate each of them, and maybe like one will have food of one sort and one will have drinks of a sort or whatever. And so people can move between them. Maybe wouldn't that be the coolest thing ever?
That's what we're going to try to do. So Judy Horstman, we don't have any U.S. Virgin Islands stuff. I'm sorry.
We haven't been there yet.
And Stephen Doyle, thank you for the suggestion to check out Adventure Archives. I will do that. That's really nice of you. Thank you. Let's see.
Shut up, Mark.
Shut up. Thanks, Nick. Drink again.
Darian says, driving in Paris is a trip for sure. So we talked to Darian recently, and he's like, y'all, it took me 4 hours to find a parking spot. And he
I
was,
don't know how you found your place later, buddy.
even 4 hours is probably good for Paris. I mean, like, mind blowing. I've driven in so many countries. I won't touch Paris with a 10-foot pole. OMG, the parallel parking in France. I've never seen such voodoo. I swear some of those cars must have done the Inspector Gadget. So, actually, Christian, you're not that wrong. That's why the Smart 42, the really tiny smart car, it's actually built so that it is as long as a normal car is wide, or as a parking spot is wide. That was their original idea, so that you could just drive your car and turn right and go into what would be a parallel spot, and you use it as a head-on spot, because your car is only as wide as, or is only as long as a spot is wide. Yeah. Means to travel. Wait, will you have mulled wine at your Christmas market? Sugar, we had Glühwein last week, or 3 or 4 days ago, because it was cold. We just whipped out the Glühwein. We never don't have Glühwein in our house. We buy so much at Christmas that we have it all year round, because we're weird.
And I took down the Christmas tree this weekend, and I got to drink Glühwein while I took it down listening to Christmas music.
What's the deal with Narita Airport having its shops and stuff before security? That was super annoying. Also, for an international airport, it's designed like a regional one. That's because it was a regional one before becoming international, right? I'm not misspeaking, am I? I'm pretty sure I'm right. But Mark is letting the dog out, and he's not paying a dang lick of attention to me. That makes me sad. He's not paying attention to me. Andrew Burnett almost wiped out on one of those scooters in Paris. Yeah. No. Thank you. I probably just made a face. I probably had RBF with that. Like, no, don't give me that.
You're gorgeous.
Went in the same bakery every 3 days in Paris. Struggled with my French all 3 days. Lovely lady, only spoke French to me. Last day she spoke perfect English. I love people like that. Listen, if I had had more of that in Portugal, my Portuguese would be a whole lot better, because people would just go, you know what? It's easier if we just speak in English. I'm like, but I won't learn. And they're like, yeah, but this is just too bad. I can't deal with you. And so they would just speak with me in English. And I'm like, hey, your English ain't as good as you think it is. There were a couple of those people, because some of them were mean about that. But I love it when people speak the language with me, or some amalgamation of it with like a little bit of each thrown in, because that's what helps me. Yeah.
So, Wendy Marika, anything you know about Belize? We actually have quite a few Belize videos already out. I think I've got all the Belize videos out. Don'ts, shocks, what to know before you go. I know I still have a Key Coker one I have to put out.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're like in San Ignacio up by the Guatemalan border, you have a lot of Mayan ruins you can go see there. You can do some cave diving and cave rafting, which is really cool. It's significantly cheaper in San Ignacio inland than it is when you go on the Keys to go out there.
Like, we're talking
like extra zero at the end. I mean, it's still affordable. It's not expensive. Belize isn't expensive, but it's like you're like, oh, this is nothing to like.
It's cheaper than Key Coker is cheaper than most destinations in the Caribbean.
Oh yeah.
It's not as cheap as it is inland. Like inland, it's probably like a third of the price of the Keys. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Blonde, every time someone says this year sucked, it was the worst year, I know they were wrong. However, 2020 is the exception. It's like, so Bonogos, you don't stream on Saturday mornings anymore? No, we don't. We haven't done that. Last week was the first week you didn't do. Well, we did because we had for our members, and we had that. But because now things are starting to open up, like we're like, let's give people the Saturdays free. We can do stuff too, and also, so I'm teaching an online course starting next week. And it was a course that was going to be face-to-face, lots of hands-on stuff, and I'm trying to transition everything to online. I just don't, it's the time, which has really got me. Grant Rennie, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. That was very nice of you.
Sal says, just a quick tip for your U.S. audience that may have had a canceled flight not yet refunded. They might want to file a complaint with Department of Transportation to expedite the refund. You know what? Yes, except that most of our, like we talked to our members and patrons a lot, and most of them are getting them pretty quickly. We got ours immediately from Delta. Like, it was immediately put back into our like wallet or whatever with our Delta app.
Well, the e-credit went there, but he's talking about like actually in your
the cash refund.
Because and the thing is people are like the airlines are being very like this, but the thing is, if you bought a non-refundable ticket, technically they could say if you cancel it, that's on you. That's why I always tell people wait until the last minute.
Yeah.
So
Nick says, yes, Paris is not a place to drive. Neither is Athens. Don't drive in Athens. Save yourself the time, the stress, and the potential stroke.
Preach.
Listen, not only that, like all this you're going to get because you're going to, this means this.
The finger, excuse me.
In Greek. Yeah, no joke. They are, Athens, I'm afraid to cross the street in Athens sometimes. It's just insane.
So, Miss Ellie Jellybelly, that roundabout circling the Arc de Triomphe is absolutely terrible to even watch. There aren't even lines of the cops. No, I mean, it's just...
It's a free-for-all.
It's a free-for-all.
Woo,
like, it is
let's
crazy.
do it. Let's just go.
I think we were coming back, and I filmed it last time we were going around. And I'm like, no, we're going through this. La, 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 la. I'm like, but the thing is, like, it was only showing the front. Like, no, you can't just see the front. I'm like, but I want to show the sides where the cars are going like this.
I
and
think
like,
we should have like all had cameras.
We
out.
didn't. We need that 360. Hold it up and have the 360 view. And be like,
here's the thing.
We're all
We have
gonna
been
die.
through that like I don't know how many dozens of times. Like we go to Paris at least once or twice a year. That stuff is like insane. It doesn't matter how many times you've done it. It's still insane.
Yep. So Simon.
Yep.
When I was like Simone, but Simon, what is the hardest thing about your travels that you didn't think of before you did them?
That's a really good question. That's one I kind of have to think about, right? Especially now that I've had the whiskey.
Well, and the thing is, like, we've been traveling so much. That's one thing I get kind of upset with some travel vloggers. Because they'll make the same mistakes, like 10 trips in a row. I'm like, are you doing this to have that fault? It's like when you watch Chopped or something like that. Oh, the thing fell or the thing broke. I'm like, that was obviously like put in there to add some drama. And I'm like, are you guys adding the drama that you didn't know you to get a visa to these places? I think that was one of those things I learned is like, look, wherever you're going to go, make sure if you need a visa, how do you get it beforehand? And we've never had that problem before, but it was one of those, I think one of the things is if you're using third parties doing stuff, like that's one of those things I always recommend. Go straight to the airlines, straight to the hotels, because the third parties are going to be like, look, you bought it. I don't have to help you at all. If you buy straight from the airline, or straight from the hotel chain or whatever, then they're more likely to help you because the money's right there and they can actually do something to help you out. Hi, Mom.
For me, it's about packing.
Good night, Mom.
Good night, Kath. See you later. For me, it's about packing and what is truly essential in my packing and what is not. And that's different for every person. Like, I have friends who can't go without a full face of makeup, like all of it, right? For me, it's like...
You should see me without my makeup.
Like, I'll do like foundation and mascara, and that's all I'll take with me. Maybe an eyeliner pencil or something.
Hi,
like,
Brig. How are you?
So it's prioritizing what I pack is really important to me. So...
Let's see.
Right. We don't like anything staged.
Yeah.
Like the only thing that's staged with us is the 45 times it takes us to get our kids to take a picture with smiles on both of their faces at the same time.
Yeah, that's why it just doesn't happen. It's just annoying. Hi, Brig. Thank you for your ear slobber.
It was just gross.
Yeah, Nick Barnett, he lived in the center of Athens, never once needed a car there, thankfully. Yeah. No. And that's the thing is that, like, I lived 5 years in Lisbon. I lived 3.5 years in Lithuania, 3 years in Berlin, a year in Finland, summer in Austria. Well, most Sao Paulo for a while. I never had a car in these places because you never had to have one. And that's what's kind of different. In the U.S., you have to have one, so it's kind of a different kind of thing.
Megan Morris, there's also a Versailles, Illinois.
Yes.
They say Versailles rather than Versailles. I love people.
Philippe. No, you got to say it. No, Philippe deserves his credit for this.
Okay.
Philippe
Chartrand. I love seeing people trying to cross the roundabout at Arc de Triomphe, not realizing there are underpasses
and signs that say "Don't do that." and they still try. It's hilarious.
We'll go get it. You know what? I have to say, took a taxi to see the Pope in Rome, and he scared the bejesus out of me.
Not the Pope, the taxi.
Oh, the taxi!
Driver.
I'm like, the Pope did. Yeah, there's a place in Lisbon down near Monasterio Geronimus.
Monasterio Geronimus?
You
Yeah.
see? Nah.
Floppy hats are not essential. That's right, Lori. That's right.
So that had there's like an underpass where you go over to see the monument to the expeditions. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, well, it's close. The monument to the... God, now I can't think of it. You're losing me.
That one. Anyway, and you go under, and there are people who are like trying to get across. There's like tram tracks, like, you know, like the L kind of tracks.
Yeah, you just go under, but people like try to run across, but it's like...
And they're climbing fences, and you're like, holy shit.
I mean, yeah, because it's not just like a road. It's like fenced road. We got a few chats that came through. Thank you very much. Paul Tipton just woke up at 4:20 a.m. I'm not stopping, so good night. Oh, by the way, you sound too... Hold on. Dang it.
This is difficult, isn't it?
I know.
I don't like this new chat thing.
I do not like it either.
Oh.
Just so at 4:20 a.m. I'm not stopping, so good night. Oh, by the way, you sound too sober, so shut up, Mark.
Shut up, Mark, for Paul Tipton.
Love you, buddy. Hope you're well.
Grant Rennie, thank you for the super chat. That also passed us by. I appreciate it. Thank you. And
thanks.
The
Gallivanting Gals, thanks for all you do. We appreciate the community and support. See y'all on Zoom Saturday. Had to finish packing for the RV.
Woo,
there you go. And let us know when we're going to be on the interview part. So
let me know we're going to ditch Mark and I go with y'all.
Yes, totally fine. That's a fantastic idea. You can have the RV with a friend, and then I will be in our car with the boys at the hotel.
Hell yes, girls.
Just saying, Disney Lizards on. What's up? Good to see you on there.
Sorry, a little quick on the trigger with that.
Don't worry about
it. Okay.
All right, let's see. Speaking of Athens, I was looking at flights to Greece a couple of days ago, and it looks like American Airlines only flying to Athens. Are there better airports to fly to? Look,
that's actually the easiest.
That's the only place. If you're going to be coming from the U.S., that's the only place you can fly into.
Well, if you're doing straight shots, you can get to Thessaloniki if you stop.
You can get anywhere in Greece with a connection if you fly into Europe and then go from there. There is that option, but if you're looking for a direct flight from the U.S., your only option is Athens. Yes, because yes. What's up, Anonymous? Yeah, we're still up. Jasleen, yes, we would spend 2 weeks in Portugal. I spent 5 years in Portugal. How would you
spend them? How? Not would. How would?
Okay, so I would do 3 days in Porto, 5 days in Lisbon, and spend the rest on the coast in the south. When I was in Porto, I'd do a day trip to probably Braga or Guimarães. In Lisbon, I would do a day trip to Évora and Sintra. And when I was in the south, I just hit the beach and relax and go see the stuff in the Algarve and enjoy my time down there. So that would be my thing. She's talking to the dog, not me.
Look at him. He's doing this.
He's like, I'm a spoiled brat dog.
I swear he is half hound.
I know. Here's the thing: is you think your kids are spoiled. The dog is the most spoiled. He's like, so our dog can't, like, if you like drop a piece of meat like this size, he can't find it. He's like, no, I only eat like full size steaks when you drive it.
Turns his nose up.
Yeah, he's spoiled brat dog. Spoiled brat dog. He knows. See, he's the kind of dog, when we give him his dry food, he's like fine with it. But when we try to give him like something fancy, like the wet food, he like looks away in shame. Like, don't let people know that I ate that. Like, okay. So there is that. Let's see. Mark, do you mean your boys or the boys? The boys. That's right. Let's see. Yeah, you got to fly to somewhere else. So, Roman Perez on Facebook. Have you ever been to Switzerland? Yes, we have. If so, what kind of experience do you have there? My wife was unsure about going overseas, worrying about it being American friendly if she worry about that. Look, the whole anti-American stuff is BS. Like, that is the biggest BS I've ever heard.
She watched a little too much of the movie Taken.
Yeah, no, like that. Yeah.
And that's an isolated thing.
Yeah.
Listen, we've taken our children to at least 50 countries and more. 50.
Yeah.
50.
50.
Yeah, 50.
Oh.
And no, and Switzerland is incredibly safe.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you have kids,
it's
Switzerland. If you
so
have
safe.
kids, Switzerland is not the best place to go. If you don't have kids, or the kids are older, like teenage and older, it's a great place to go if you have money because there's tons of stuff to see. It's gorgeous there, so yeah, you'll be fine.
I agree that Athens Airport really is pretty easy. It's big, like space wise, it's big.
Oh, Andrew was in Milfons, Portugal last August. Man, that's been a long time since I was there. Man, that was a long time ago. Thomas, where would you recommend going in Italy? If it's your first time, you got to do the big three. You got to do the Rome, Florence, Venice. That's the way you got to go. If it's your first time.
I would then throw in, if you have time and you can get down to the south, go to Sorrento, because from Sorrento you can see Herculaneum and Pompeii and possibly Capri.
Love you too, buddy.
See, he loves you, not me.
Because I'm fluffy.
I'm a hole.
No, I'm like squishy, and he can use me as a pillow. You are caring and loving, and he loves you too. Anyway, so Andrew Burnett, have you traveled to Israel much? So we were supposed to go to Israel in November, and that trip got canceled last minute. And so then we were supposed to go again this June, and that like COVID pandemic thing came, so we can't go then. So right now, it looks like Israel is on the hopeful thing for summer 2021. We got a new big Europe trip planned, so there is that.
Someone is saying something about Snowdonia and Wales. Let me tell you about Wales.
Gorgeous. Oh my God.
Wales is absolutely incredible. We didn't even get to Snowdonia, but we did spend time in, help me out?
Brecon Beacons?
Brecon Beacons. I'm having trouble with my ADD tonight. No, really, it's just the whiskey.
It's just the whiskey, sweetheart. It's the whiskey.
But anyway, Wales is incredible. We had so much fun. We stayed outside of Brecon, like the town Brecon, and what we had in one night, like three people, 3 fans. A guy and his sister were like following us around the grocery store.
So we're talking like we're in Wales, and outside a national park, and at a random like Sainsbury's like grocery store, and we had 4 people in Sainsbury come and say hi.
Those were on 2 different times.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, there was another one. Oh, you weren't there for that one. When I went by myself.
So there was the 2 that brother and
sister, and then there was another
3rd person that day.
And
it was almost embarrassing. Like like this guy was like to his sister, and I was like, why are they looking at us? Oh my God, do I have toilet paper on my shoe? Like, I mean, it was one of those things. And then they were like, they asked me, or no, that wasn't that couple. It was somebody else. But they were like, hey, is that Walter's world? And I was like, yeah, I'm his wife. And they were like, it was the funniest thing ever.
That's why I always tell them, look, if you see us, come say hi.
And don't
just
be like
walk
that.
up and say hi. No, it's fine.
Just like,
but it's funny because it was there, and then it was at the Sainsbury, and then at the bar. There's one, like, I've never had a town where I saw so many people come and say hi.
And it's like the smallest little place.
And we had no videos on Wales, so it wasn't like the locals were like trying to figure things out.
But they were Welsh. Awesome. I mean, they were local people. But I loved it. We rented this great little cottage right across from a mill.
Perfect place to be. If we would have got stuck there.
Oh heck yeah! That would have been great.
Okay.
I mean, we talked about that because people have asked us, where would you like to be quarantined? That house. Like, that house would have been awesome because the kids could go out
and that's what they're saying. Like, the non-touristy beaches of Wales are absolutely incredible.
Truly.
Wales is really a nature place. Like,
it's kind of unthought of. People think about Scotland and England and Ireland.
And Wales becomes like, oh, I go to Cardiff and I get to see Doctor Who from 2005 to 2010. And you're like, no, there's a lot more to see in Wales.
So much more than that. And we're Whovians.
Yeah.
And there's so much more than
So
that.
Nick Peterson makes a good point. The French love Americans. Any foreign country will love you as long as you respect them. And that's the
Be
truth.
kind.
If you're being kind and you want to know and you try, just
Use your
try
manners,
to speak the
y'all.
language, it goes a long way.
Yes. The one thing that Americans do wrong is that we're really loud. And it's just who we are.
And people can get over loudness if you're nice.
Yeah, absolutely. But try to think about that as Americans. If that's just one thing you can think of as you're traveling, if you just dial it back a little bit and not be super loud, that's special.
So Andrea Moran says, Spain and Portugal love kids, always really welcome, but don't expect a kids menu at restaurants.
Right.
This is one thing. Kids menus aren't really a big thing.
Except in the U.S.
Yeah, except in the U.S. And there's a couple other places, but UK has some. But like,
Occasionally
what you can ask for is actually, do you have like, can I get a half portion for the kids? And a lot of places will do that for you, and they'll charge you a half rate for that because it's kids. And Spain and Portugal, I remember because we lived in Portugal when Caleb was little and Liam was born there, and we go back and visit, and it was like, give us your baby, you eat, I'll hold the baby. And so like because it's always the mom that was cooking, and she'd come out like, I'm holding the baby, ain't nobody getting no food. Maria Jesus. I know, she passed away.
God,
our favorite lady.
May her memory be eternal.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Such an amazing woman. She would take our children. She would come and take the order and hold the babies. Like it didn't.
And then
matter.
she would feed Caleb.
Oh my!
No. Then before she passed away, we had come back to visit, and so she would like straight up feed Liam when he was like 3 or 4.
But at the same time, she'd be handing things to Caleb. Truly, they are such great places to take your kids. Italy too. Liam was 7 weeks old when we went.
Oh my god! And they're like, no! They're like, we're in Rome in the airport. They're like, stop, you! And I'm like, oh and they're like, come here. And
oh, we thought we were in trouble.
Yeah, and there's like
something.
these like two. I mean, the TSA agents were like supermodels. They're gorgeous.
And they have like one of them had the AK, right? Like we're talking like big butt.
And she's like, no, we hold the baby while you go through. And so
they're
like, you go through. Like we could have anything we wanted in our bag. Like, shut up, they're going through.
That's not true. Because other people were checking our bags.
Yes,
they weren't checking our bags.
The checking bags are like, no, now it's my turn for the baby. Because in Italy there's not a lot of babies there, so it was kind of funny.
Oh my gosh! And then the SSS, our favorite little restaurant in Rome, the owners literally took Liam from my hands. I was feeding him at one point, and
remember Luca? They're like, "We'll take that."
She's like, "Ow!" I'm like, hold on, he's attached. But they took the kids. Like Caleb has been taught to cook in so many restaurants in Italy and Spain and Portugal. It's not even funny. Liam was like smaller, so maybe he didn't get all the learning that Caleb did. It's time to move back to Europe.
I know.
It's really time.
Lid Kiki. Hello, Professor. Hello, Lid Kiki. I'm going to guess that's not your real name. But that's okay. We got to keep it safe. It's been 5 years since I graduated. I already love your Badam classes.
Woo! You graduated his class.
It's not that hard. But you know what? You did a good job doing it. Ow! What?
It's that hard.
Don't hurt me. But it's nice to see you on here. It's really, and that's one thing I love when some of my students pop back in and say hi. That's
That
awesome.
is cool. Thank you for doing
so
that, dear.
much.
James says, I try to be less when traveling. Yes, me too. We actually, so some people say use your indoor voice to their children, and we say use your Europe voice to our kids. It's European time.
Yeah, Chris Bates makes a good point. A Japanese train is so quiet. Yes, public transportation in Scandinavia, so quiet.
No, but Japan, like in Japan,
if the pin dropped, you get not yelled at, but like people would look down.
No, but like you can be in the midst of like a million people. You can be crammed on. You know how you see all those pictures of them pushing people into the subway with the poles,
sticks.
And you're like this. I mean, you're really, truly, it's like fish, right? Like in a can, and there's no noise. Like you can be. It's amazing how silent something can be.
So the mogul, please don't forget us. We would love to see you in the most beautiful Bangor, Maine. You would become immortalized in Maine. We love Bangor. We love Bangor. So I did a schooner trip out of there when I was a kid. When I was like in 6th grade, and it's always got a thing. There's actually paintings from there in our room, in our library from there. So we love it there. So if your governor lets us get in there, It might be there
I don't want to
summer.
sit for 2 weeks waiting though, sugar.
Yeah,
Like,
but
that's
yeah, no.
not
If you ever,
happening.
for people that are wondering good places to go, if you want natural beauty, like flying, because a lot of people fly to New York or Boston, go north, go up into Maine. It is just gorgeous with the stuff. Going to Belfast and stuff like that, that's really nice. Camden, Bar Harbor. Bar Harbor's a little like super touristy because that's where a lot of tourists go, but like, there's a lot of great places you can go and stay in Maine. It is fantastic to go to. So thank you, the mogul. Hopefully we'll get to see you one day soon. Andrew, that restaurant in Lisbon with the Brazilian food with the rotisserie meats, there's
That
tons
one?
of those.
That
There's a
400.
bunch of them. There's a bunch of them there.
There's one that we used to go to a lot that wasn't too far from our
Yeah,
house.
it's like 16 euros, which is like the equivalent of like $17, $18.
good.
And all the meat you can eat until you explode.
We are not too loud when we're there. But you know what's funny is my husband lived in Europe for like about 12 years, yeah?
Yeah.
And this man, there are times we're here in the States and I'm like, shut up, Mark. Like, just shut up, Mark. Because
That's
he
2
is
drinks, by the
so loud. And I'm Greek. Y'all, I'm Greek. Do you understand?
I'm getting excited.
And you just, oh my
but
God.
when I travel, I'm good.
I don't know. That last trip, I had to shut you up a couple times.
You're a little over the top.
No.
But whatever.
No, I'm sorry. You were over the top, and therefore I had to shut you up.
I won't even notice. I don't shut you up ever.
Oh, he doesn't on here, but
so Lushy 77. How do you cope with living away from your extended family? That's actually one of the reasons why we have.
That's
one of the
why
reasons,
we're here.
That's one of the reasons why we have
Our
not moved back to
parents
Europe
and
because
my sisters.
we're blessed that all of the grandparents are still alive.
Praise God.
Praise God. And so that's one of the reasons. That was actually one of the driving reasons why we came back.
Dang, Brig.
In 2011, and we're still here.
Because
there have been other offers to
dads.
go abroad and teach abroad and stuff like that, but right now it's you want to be. And what sucks is now we can't even go see them. So that's one of the things. Like when we can start to travel again, people ask, "Where's the first place you're going to go?" We're going to go see the grandparents. So we have that.
You know, I feel like we should just do that this weekend anyway. Can we do that? Is that legal?
We've been quarantined for 60 days. We haven't seen anybody, and my parents haven't done anything except for getting stuff sent to them. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, your mom's seen a baby.
My
She don't want a
nephew that I
baby.
haven't spent any
Not
time
this
with.
baby. This
I
good
have
doggy
books.
baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that big mouth. Let's see.
He does not like
So
that.
so Grant Rennie, Mr. Blonde, Ibiza was a big thing until about 2005. Then the music culture in the UK changed and moved away from dance music to some kind of R&B rap stuff. Yeah, it's true, because I remember when I lived in Germany, like Ibiza was a place you went to go to like raves and stuff like that. It's not quite as
For those who love being alone, is the eventual end of the quarantine something to dread?
Yes.
You know what? We were talking about that the other day with Gallivant and Gals, that like my introvert friends are like, I've been practicing for this my whole life. I love it. You know, they're like, they're in their element. And Mark and I are like, oh my God, I'm going to kill somebody. Like, I'm just so crazy sitting at home. But some people are just thriving in this. And I'm so glad that other people can do that. Someone said to say, shut up, Mark, in another language. Cala boca.
I think that's like a triple drink. He is a night dog. So Nick Peterson, I felt bad for the Thales train conductor for my train from Rotterdam to Paris. They had to announce that in English, French, and Dutch, foreign trains are a neat experience. You know what? I speak a few languages, and I love it when I get a chance to do that. That's why I'm really sad I won't have my exchange students in the fall, because I usually get German and Italian and Spanish exchange students. They'll come up and talk to me like, oh, wie geht's dir denn? Oh, das ist eine gute Idee. Schön. You know, so I get to speak some German. I'm like, come on. You know, and then the Spanish and the Italians come up. And the Italians know, because we've actually had some of our Italian students here for dinner and for Christmas celebrations and stuff like that. And so they know. So it's like at Bocconi, we're kind of like, oh, if you're going to go to Illinois, you got to take Walter's class so that you can have professor. And then, so the first day they all come like, hey, we're the Italians. I'm like, bene.
Bene.
So we have a good time with that. So it's really nice.
I do love the Italians. That's probably going to be a question soon. Like, where do you think, what countries have the most open, loving, kind, happy people? And
South America, everything. Italy, Spain.
Greece. You know what? I don't know about that. Greece, you have to know one. And
yeah,
then
once you're
good.
in, you're
you
in.
got to know one person. And
But
once you make one friend, even a little bit, then you've got the whole damn country, right? Like, I mean, seriously, you'll get into all sorts of things, at a discounted rate, or somebody's going to give you a free tour. Or whatever.
Everybody's got a cousin that hooks you up.
We
like,
go to Mara.
They're like, Mark, you gotta ask for Sylvia. Sylvia will let you in. And the thing is, Nikos here, yeah, in Greece. But the thing is, that's anywhere. That's anywhere. Like, family's family and friends are friends. It's just awesome, and that's why, like, Mariposa says, y'all are an adorable couple, and ate the wine speaking. Oh, yes. Yes, it is. The wine is speaking, Mariposa. You be careful.
Sugar. Wait, your dog is what? Hang on.
Brigadier is the dog's name, not... Stop.
Okay.
Let's see. So Lori is... I've been staying close to my parents in their 80s, but they said I don't have to be around because their trust... has it all, and they take you to the Europe unless California.
Shaftan Mark. That's Swedish for shut up, Mark.
There you go. Oh, Henry Martinez, thank you very much for the super chat.
Thanks, Henry.
Mark, did you ever explore the Australian outback? Can you talk about any cool memories about your stay in Australia? Is it more expensive than the U.S.? It's about the same price. The U.S., we're looking to go back. We're hoping to go for the holidays this year, but I'm waiting to get more information on if it'll be open. That's my big thing. If it's open and we don't have to do like a 2-week quarantine, that's the thing there. My time there, I actually lived, my first family, first off, I lived in the middle of nowhere. So I flew into Sydney, and then I'd take like a puddle jumper to Waka Waka, New South Wales. And then I had to drive 90 minutes out to Temora. In my first family, I lived in the town of Temora, which is like a grand total of like 4,000 people. And my second family, I lived on a sheep ranch. And like, I remember the first day I was there, like I woke up and there's kangaroos outside, and my host dad like is shooing them away because the kangaroos are like pests. I'm like, what? It was crazy. And the Wrights are fantastic people. I love them to death. So I hope we can get back there so I can go see them.
We really, really, really want to go there later this year. That's the plan. But right now we don't know. But
yeah, because that's also the thing. It's like, because everyone's hurting for money right now. So it's like, look, if we're gonna buy new tickets, I gotta make sure, because it's just.
I love this. Heather W says, "I'm thriving during this COVID stuff. A traveling introvert oxymoron."
No, it's not. That's
or
totally
oxymoron,
fine.
depending on how you say it. And you know what? No, I have a lot of friends who are traveling introverts, and they're just not out being loud and like getting in the midst of stuff, but that doesn't mean they're not just taking absolutely everything in and digesting it in ways like, I love to travel with introverted people because I'm obviously not. Although I might be slightly more introverted than my husband. And I think that only happened after we got married, that I became even remotely introverted. You know? Are you making faces at me?
No, I'm why?
I
love you.
Love taps. I love you. Anyway, I love to travel with more introverted people because they digest things in ways that my extroverted brain cannot, and it's pretty cool. So, okay.
Let's see. Because I scrolled down to the end. Which country has your favorite food? Oh,
Greece.
My God. Well, that's hers. I'm a big fan of French and Italian.
And Italian.
And Rwandan.
And then Rwandan. No,
and, Peruvian is good.
Peruvian is high up there. Rwandan is high up there.
There's always the traditional favorites of Mexican food.
Jamaica is high up there.
Yeah, like, you see why I look like this now. So there is that.
What else? I don't know, but those are all pretty good. I don't like German food. Mark would put German food up there.
No, you've beat me down so much. I don't.
Shut up. Love Actually. That's a really good movie.
Philip is not Quebecois. He's Franco-Ontarian. Both are French-Canadian. It's not as complicated as it sounds, and I love poutine. Well, we all love poutine. That's like saying you like to breathe. Poutine is like amazing. So the greatest thing to come from Canada since Wayne Gretzky and Tim Hortons pre-2015.
My Italian mother would say, "Shut up and eat." In Italian.
Mangia! Mangia!
Zitto. Yeah.
Yes,
Tutti a tavola a mangiare!
Yes, I do love French bakers, Mr. Blonde. You are right.
Oh, we do crazy things like that, right?
Yes, we do.
Mm.
So Nick Barnett says, traveling solo is not lonely at all if you have an easy time meeting people. Okay, where you go? sorry, making friends along the way. That's one of the things that when I used to travel all the time before I had this lady here, I would travel by myself, but I would meet so many people when I go around. It was just a really wonderful experience. And so that's why, like, some people are like, well, I'm solo traveling. Should I do it? I'm like, yes, you should go. Because you know what? You're going to meet people. And the thing is, if you're younger or older, you can go stay at hostels where there's a lot of solo travelers. And so you can make a travel buddy for the day. And I've met a lot of travel buddies for the day. So you can go see stuff and do things. And you learn from them, meet them, have somebody to eat with, share the food with and stuff like that. Just to have that camaraderie. And that's one thing I really miss from our travels is even when we travel as a family, we still go and meet people when we're there. And it's like, you see them. And the thing is, when you're doing sites, like you're in a city for a week, right? You're going to see the same people a couple times. You're like, I saw you at the Louvre. I saw you move the same. And then, like, the third time you see them, you're like, what's up, man? Like, fist bump, stuff like that. You're like, well, dude. And so you have, like, this kind of camaraderie kind of stuff. So it's really, really nice. Let's see. Poutine is great. Yes, Eric. Yes, everyone. J'aime beaucoup les poutines. Everyone, if you're not sure what poutine is, it's fries with cheese curds, a little meat, and some gravy on top. It is fantastic. Oh, such good times. Tim Hortons. Let's not talk about Tim Hortons right now because we're all kind of getting over how they're not as good as they used to be. They're still good, but they're not as good as they used to be. So there is that. So Yvette wants to know our opinion on Airbnb these days. So we've been online for 3 hours, so I guess I can answer the same questions again because it's been 3 hours. Airbnbs, they're good for if you have a family, if you have if you're going to stay for a long time, I recommend them. The cleaning side of it, you can clean it yourself, so that helps out. But I just like the freedom that Airbnbs give you. The problem is getting in and getting out of the Airbnb.
It doesn't have to, hang on, I want to say something on that. It doesn't have to be an Airbnb. It can be VRBO, which quite frankly...
Or Verbo.
Home Away, which is attached to VRBO. There are all sorts of other apartment rental things that you may have more recourse. If something goes badly with Airbnb, you don't always have a lot of recourse. And that is, for me, that's the big downfall of Airbnb. We like to rent apartments, but we don't always use that way of going about it. Like in Paris, we use a company called Perfectly Paris. And I'm happy to say we use Perfectly Paris because they've always done really good work for us. And like, we don't get any kind of discount or anything like that. It's just that they're a good company. So look for different apartment rentals in different places. Large cities like that will have places, that you can,
So Anonymous says, I think foods from different countries are very interesting. Mark, be great if you would add regional dishes sections to your videos. We actually do have that. We actually have tons of food videos on what you should eat in different countries. But the YouTube algorithm will not show you those because you're looking for us for travel. So when we put out a food video, they don't actually show that to you. So it is kind of interesting because YouTube has now got everyone so focused down that if you just watch our don'ts videos, they will only send you the don'ts videos we have. They won't send you the shots or what to know or food stuff. And that's for all YouTube channels you have. So I recommend all you do is go through your subscriptions and go and check out some of those YouTubers you've liked and used to watch a lot. I'm like, oh, I thought they weren't making videos anymore. You'll click on there and find that they have been making videos because I'll get a comment, at least one comment a day from who said, oh, it's nice to see you're still traveling. I'm like, yeah, we've been putting out videos every Wednesday and Saturday for 6 years now. And like, we've been doing this for 11 years. I'm like, I had no idea. I hadn't seen your videos forever. These things happen.
That's why you need to hit the notification bell.
Well, and the notification bell still doesn't see your stuff.
It doesn't always.
But I don't want you all to get like the emails. Just watch a video here or there, or just go back to your favorite YouTubers and go and just click on their things to go see what's out there because you'll be surprised how many videos you missed. Even channels like SciShow and Eons that we watch a lot with Liam, and we watch them multiple times, but we still don't get their newest stuff.
We don't get it. It's really stupid. The algorithm sometimes puts you in what do you call that?
They put you in a blinder set. You get into an echo chamber. And you hear nothing else. So it's kind of a pain.
But sometimes even the things that you watch repeatedly, you'll miss big chunks of what they have. So go and check.
So Mrs. Ellie Jelly Belly, unpopular opinion, but some of the best poutine is from the Costco and Costco cafeteria, and I'm Canadian. No, you know what? I'm okay with that because you'll be surprised how many of those places have done a really good job. Like my dad, he's like, you want to go to Sam's Club and have a hot dog? Because you know what? Their hot dogs are pretty good. And their pizza, not too bad if you just want to get a slice. I mean, if I can feed my kids for $2, dude, you can't beat that. So there's all kinds of great stuff there. Let's see.
I've had a broken bed and Airbnb refunded plus extra to stay in a hotel.
Wow, we have not been that lucky.
Holy shnikes, Jameson Dizzle, wow.
Respect to you.
You got something good at Airbnb, because let me tell you, that has not happened for us.
Yeah, Meredith Post, McDonald's poutine does suck. That's why you go to the A. Okay, so there's a chain. So we have A&W root beer in the U.S. and you have the A&W burgers joint restaurants in the U.S. totally suck. But in Canada, they're freaking amazing, and the A&W, they have amazing poutine. So for a fast food place, I hope you. Where were you at? Was that where you're laughing at?
Oh my God! Because just the idea of poutine at McDonald's cracks my stuff up. Goodness.
There you go.
Hey, it's getting a little late, so I want to thank Mark Finley. Mark Finley is like the greatest moderator on not just our channel, but all the channels. The man gets the stuff, and I really appreciate everything he does. But all of our moderators, you guys, I know that you're backing him up, but I think we can all say that he does some crazy good stuff.
Yes, thanks,
man.
So
I just want to give him a shout out, because you know what? He would comment on all sorts of things and be a part of all of this, but he is busy cleaning out the crazies for us, so that we can all have a very good, fun conversation with positivity. So I just want to point him out and say thank you.
So, Chris Bates, it would be fun if you guys watch an older video with us on a live stream, critique your younger self, and share some extra stories.
Oh, don't. I can't even
critique.
I cannot critique myself.
Yeah. Well, no, that's why.
I'll just berate
once
myself.
I figure out how this new system works.
Do that? We can watch it together.
Oh, yeah. We can actually put it on it. Well, what I would need to do is have it so I downloaded the video, then we watched it. Or we give everyone homework. Watch this video beforehand. So
Anonymous. Alton Brown's doing the stuff on YouTube. He is the shit.
Yeah, and I'm so glad his Great Eats is online, so it can be more open. I still love his Great Eats. I watch the old episodes so much. I like Alton Brown Alton Brown Great Eats. Good Eats. Sorry, Good Eats. I've been drinking. Sorry. I love watching that better than when he was on all the Food Network stuff where he got to be all fan. I remember him.
You can't say things on Food Network.
I know, and you can't show things. So
I know
it's nice.
That.
Granny's on their YouTube channel, but whatever. The internet makes things a lot easier.
He's able to say things, right?
Yeah, so it's nice. Means to travel. We watched a bunch of RV videos last night, and now my entire YouTube dashboard are RV tours. Yep, that's right. That's how it works. And I didn't subscribe.
I hate that. I want to know things, but I don't want just that one thing.
Yeah, and the thing is, have you ever bench watched a thing on YouTube? You watch 5 or 6 of their videos in a row, and then the next 5 days, all your videos are just that.
Yeah.
And I watched this wonderful group, Curse for a Plate. No, they're from New Zealand. They do food videos, and they're real. It's TV quality stuff.
Yeah.
Watching video videos for the last 3 days. That's all I've gotten in my feed. I'm like, cool, but I want some other stuff. Grant, I'm glad you could be on for us, buddy. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Andrew's right on the Canadian border. I think the border's supposed to open up in some
Talia
places.
says, we've had some bad experiences with Airbnb. The last time they canceled without our authorization and refunded us. Plus the difference for the hotel, too.
At least you got that. We didn't get the...
Yeah, but if they cancel without your authorization...
that's the thing I don't like about
where
Airbnb.
do you go stay? Because
sometimes
they do that, and you where are you going to go after that? What's going to happen to you?
Because we've had it. I've had it before where I've actually showed up at places and they're like, "Oh no, we meant to send you an email. It's not going to happen." I'm like, I was in Dublin, and they're like during the marathon, like, "Yeah, no, we wanted to make more money, so we kept these people on because they were at the higher marathon rate." And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Well, it's not our problem. And Airbnb, they're like,
that was really difficult. And we had kids, or we had one kid, and I was pregnant for Pete's sake.
Yeah, I was not a happy person
because then I could have guilted them. But I don't know that being Irish, they would have cared. Truly, some countries, if you're pregnant,
bye, Henry. Yeah.
Good night. In Portugal, if you're pregnant, you're a queen.
You're a queen.
But there are other places you're like, hey, you're just a pregnant lady. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, Chris Bates, watching an old video would change up the algorithm. Yeah. Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Yeah, please go watch some old videos.
So, Ashley, yes, if you consider making detailed itineraries on different countries, I would totally pay for those. So we do have a few videos that will give you like some basic itineraries and stuff you should do. I haven't written up like specific itineraries because we spend so much time making the videos that a blog version kind of description I've kind of done.
Yanette, Sugar, we have been to Charleston quite a bit. I lived in Savannah for a long time. Actually, would go up to Charleston for the weekend and stuff just because it was really fun, and it's a great city. Love it.
Nadine got to see Alton Brown. Alton.
Is she Alton? Alton
Brown.
Don't fall asleep with YouTube on. Oh, I fall asleep with YouTube on all the time. Actually, sometimes I intentionally put it on, especially when this COVID thing hit. Some of our friends who are YouTubers, I would just put it on their channel and let it play all night long.
Just to help them out, say some views and stuff.
I did that with Trip Hacks DC, Gallivant and Gals, Means to Travel, the Growing Up Without Borders. Like they were just so Germany Travel Personal Guide.
Good night, Leah.
I think every night I choose somebody and I just put it on play and I set my phone over to the side and I go to sleep so that they get views.
Yes, and as Nick Peterson says, click the like button if you haven't already. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube, please do click the. It does help because
silly, but
so for those who don't know, actually doing live feeds is actually bad for your subscriber numbers on YouTube because you actually usually lose, like we actually lose subscribers when we do live feeds. It's kind of funny. And it's not just our channel. A lot of them do because people just click off and they unsubscribe. So the likes help the people like actually get to see these, and it helps people that actually do subscribe that want to watch.
Jasleen, Angola's kind of touch and go. I don't know that single woman. I certainly wouldn't go.
I wouldn't go.
Mackinac Island this summer.
That's the plan, Andrew. Actually, it's part of our plan.
The host decided to cancel us because he figured out it was Oktoberfest time, and we'd paid reserved in January. He asked for $1,000 more and then canceled 30 days before our trip.
Yeah,
I would have blown it.
Yeah,
I would have been so mad.
And that's why Airbnb sucks sometimes because of crap like that. It happens way too often.
Megan Morris, yes, we will still do live streams after this. So after this goes on through May, we're gonna do our Wednesdays.
Yeah, Whiskey Wednesday. We'll go through May and then the first weekend of June, or the first Wednesday of June.
And then we're gonna do like once a month live streams for everybody, and we kind of already did that anyway. And we will do once a month live streams with just our members and patrons, so they get 2.
Yeah, and we might do some more, but like what the idea is, like the first Wednesday of the month will be the Whiskey Wednesday.
I like this. I enjoy drinking with the rest of you.
Yeah, and this way.
I miss Rebecca tonight.
Yeah, Rebecca Point's not on.
I know, that sucks.
She's cool.
She is cool. But anyway, I enjoy this camaraderie. I love having time with all of you. I know that it's in a different sort of environment, but you guys have gotten us through quarantine in ways you can't even imagine. So,
yeah. No, so I thought Alton Brown had to deal with paper company. He did use a lot of paper towels. You're right. I didn't notice until you said that. Let's see. Thank you, Mr. Blonde, for having clicked the like button at the beginning.
Thank you.
So Shane wants to know favorite European soccer team. So I've been to a few Borussia Dortmund games. My buddy Magnus was a big fan. So it was great going there. I've gone to a bunch, like in Germany, I went to a bunch of Cottbus games, Borussia Dortmund, Berlin. But we've gone to the Benfica games, the sporting games. It's more Benfica, SLB. But the true soccer team, or I would say calcio team that we cheer for is Vicenza.
And then Benfica. And then I don't really care after that.
Yes, well, there you go.
It's Vicenza.
Thank you, Andrew, for having followed us for a couple of years, man. That's awesome.
Oh, and maybe have a second live feed channel.
True. Well, good night from under the table. I love it. I love it.
Who said that?
Chukumo? I hadn't commented earlier. I hadn't seen that.
Oh, bless your heart. I'm glad you're under the table with us.
Laura, we're glad we can put these out. So something you can look forward to. It's really nice, and that's one thing.
We are looking forward to it too, Laura.
Seriously, this is one of those things. Just we haven't had a lot of chances to spend a lot of time with our friends, obviously, and stuff like this. So this is we get to be with our friends. We get to be with you all. So it's really nice.
I
thank you for
have so
being
enjoyed this.
here.
Thank you for being part of this community. Mark and I love the fact that so
Love you,
many
Michael.
of you.
Be good, buddy.
Good night, Michael. I love that so many of you have become friends with one another, and that, to me, that is the greatest compliment, that we have somehow been able to bring people together. I think that that's just the coolest thing ever. So, hugs to all. We are gonna go Nanakia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prentice,
Nah.
was Jocelyn drawn to your long blonde hair when you were younger?
No, I hated Mark
She
when he
hated
was young.
me.
I
If
thought
you
he was an
if you go to
ass.
my Instagram, you'll see a picture from like 3 days before I met Jocelyn for the first time. Me, some kangaroos, and long blonde hair and skinny.
And I thought he was an ass. And now I couldn't.
And
live
now
without
she
this
could.
man.
Oh, I love her. You see, she has been drinking. There you go.
Shut up. I love him like
Oh, you didn't see the important part.
more than what?
Shut up, Mark.
Shut up, Mark. Y'all have
Mr. Blonde, Mark, you finally took down the Christmas tree as a Mother's Day present. I did.
That's our yearly deal.
It is gone.
He loves Christmas so much that I indulge him until my holiday.
Of Mother's Day. Anyway.
All right, kids.
So I'm going to try to end the stream. I have no idea how this works because I didn't think it was started and everyone could hear us. And I'm like, Jocelyn, help me here. What the hell?
And
like, because she was
totally
on her
mad.
phone, like, I'm playing my little game on my phone again. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. So,
ciao.
thanks, everybody.
Boa noite.
So,
Kalimita.
yeah, so honestly,
Boa
no
noite.
clue what the heck's going to happen right now. I'm clicking end stream. Bye. Am I sure I went to